Hello all my beautiful little unicorns and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, please allow for me to introduce myself to you. My name is Vanessa Somuayina. You guys know me as your big sis from the internet as well as your favorite psychic medium here on YouTube. This is the only tarot reading that you will ever need. So if you're completely new to my channel and to tarot, don't panic. This is precisely how this video works. So in just a moment's time, I will introduce you to these three groups and I will then have you pick one of these three groups intuitively. So when you select the group of your choice, your intuition is drawing you to receive a certain package of messages because that will be precisely what you need to hear. And I just want to warn you guys up front, I have taken my sweet time to channel all of these divine messages into these three groups. So each one of these readings is extremely detailed and extensive. So feel free to listen to this in a podcast style while you're driving, cleaning up, going for a walk, just doing an activity where you would like to listen to some content that will provide you with insight, uplifting energy, and value. And as a special surprise, I have also prepared a PDF where each sign of the zodiac receives its very own messages that are attuned to this reading and this video. The link to that is below in the description box, and it is meant to go together with this reading. You can download it on my website for free. I have created that for all of you who love the psychic insight and would like something that is tailored to their sign. So make sure that you check that out. Everything is below in the description box. So you guys, now let's get into it. I will introduce you to the three groups. And as I'm going through the three groups with you, I would just like you to take some deep breaths, tune into this space, and allow yourself to be completely immersed in this world of psychic messages. Group number one corresponds to the messages from your animal spirit guides oracle, as well as the cognac calcite. Group number two corresponds to the Mystical Wisdom Oracle deck, as well as the Amethyst Crystal. And group number three corresponds to the Spirit Animal Oracle deck, as well as the Celestite Crystal. And as already mentioned, the timestamps to all three of these groups can be found below in the description box, as well as pinned to the top of the comment section for quick and easy access from your mobile devices, your TVs, your tablets, and your laptops. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to provide you with a little moment of privacy. Feel free to pause the video right here if you need a minute. Take as long as you need to select the group that you feel just resonates the most with you. And then I'll be right back to guide you into your readings. Alright, so by now you've hopefully been able to select one of these three groups. I will be getting into your reading starting off with group number one, which corresponds to the messages from your animal spirit guides oracle cards, as well as the cognac calcite. So if this is the group that you chose, then simply continue watching. And to my other gorgeous groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number one, and welcome to your reading. You chose the messages from your animal spirit guides oracle cards, as well as the cognac calcite. This is a absolutely stunning crystal that is said to bring out an elevated side of yourself that is more confident and that just overall feels as though sky is the limit. This is also a very rare color of calcite crystal, which may be why you intuitively felt like it was the right one for you, because you typically like things that are rare, precious, and not easily obtained. Now let's get into your reading to figure out precisely what you need to hear and why this is the only tarot reading that you will ever need in your life. So first up, we have got the octopus. And just to say it right up front, if you haven't seen my Octopus Teacher on Netflix yet, that is a life-changing movie. Whether you like octopi or you don't, do know that that documentary will completely change your viewpoint on how you see these beautiful animals and just oceanic creatures in general. Now, coming into your reading, the octopus is about practicing shape-shifting by altering your physical appearance and mannerisms. In case you didn't know, the octopus is the perfect perfect shapeshifter, as it can change the surface of its skin, the surface of its membrane. It has all of these arms that can even grow back, these tentacles. It can do so many things that other creatures are unable to do. It is soft, very malleable and changeable, and it is a creature that is extremely intelligent. It's said to be one of the most intelligent creatures on planet Earth. And so within the octopus, this is about shape-shifting and using everything that was naturally given to you to put yourself in an advantageous situation whenever possible. For example, if you're a great listener, practice listening when it comes to those who have amazing stories to tell, or who you can tell are just starved of speaking. That could be a boss, that could be someone that you would like to work with, that could be a salesperson. When you allow for people to speak and you simply listen to them, you are practicing shape-shifting from maybe usually being the one speaking to just taking in information and also making that person feel comfortable, so in turn they will want to help you. They will want to give you an amazing deal. And another thing here about altering your physical appearance and mannerisms is to remind yourself that different versions of you are appropriate for different situations. There is one version of you that is appropriate when you're with friends and family, and even there are often two different versions. You're usually different around your parents than you are around your best friends. You're also a different version of yourself physically and with your mannerisms when it comes to work. You're different in front of colleagues, in front of other people who work in your industry, and you're different in front of people who you would consider as a boss or as someone whom you're trying to get something from. You're different in front of an insurance salesperson as you are in front of a grocery clerk. So I just want you to know here that shapeshifting doesn't mean that you're not authentic. You are just doing what humans naturally do. They have a different version given on the situation because not every version of you is always appropriate in every single situation, and it is completely fine and normal to shapeshift. People do it a lot more than you, so stop playing fair in an unfair world. Shapeshift when needed. You're not harming anyone. You're simply doing what everyone else does. Next up, we've got the manatee. Now, the manatee shows us here that a message you were meant to receive is to accept the situation as it is rather than fighting to change it. So remind yourself that you truly do attract the type of energy you put out there, and where your energy flows, where your attention goes, that is super important for you to analyze. If you are, for example, struggling to pay bills, just as an example, and you're constantly focusing on bills, you will be attracting more bills. So accept the situation rather than trying to fight to change it, and know that there are ways in which you can align yourself with receiving an overflow and abundance of money, so you're no more worried about fees and bills and how you're going to cover them. So be very aware of the fact that accepting and then doing the right thing in order to change a challenging situation is probably the best and most effective way forward, rather than fighting something. If there is a situation in your romantic life, so now I'm feeling something about love where there is friction, where there is a challenge, rather than focusing on the friction, the challenge, the difficulty, and fighting to change it. Focus on yourself. Focus on what feels best to you. Even if that means ignoring the person for a moment, even if that means that you're doing things that seem selfish, trust me, the right person who truly loves and cares for you, that is actually going to all of a sudden change their mind about you. They're all of a sudden going to perk up. Their eyes are going to become really wide, and they're going to be like, wait, what? I'm not the center of attention. I'm not like the person who can steer this other person's emotions anymore. I'm not able to tell them what to do. No, when you focus on yourself, group number one, people are all of a sudden going to be shook. They're going to be literally shook when they realize that their old tricks or ways of making you excited in a negative way, so making you anxious or making you react, that they're not working anymore. And then they're going to think to themselves, ooh, what's going on? Their interest is going to peak, and all of a sudden they're going to come running back and they're going to want to find out precisely what changed in you. And when you emit this energy of being so worthy of only respect, love, and care, that is inevitably what you will receive from your outer world. Next up here, we have the emu. I've always wanted to see an emu in real life. I don't think I've ever seen one, actually, or did I? Are there emus in Kenya, or did I only see ostriches when I was on my safari? Anyways, here within the emu, this is a good time to go on a new adventure, group number 1. That's what your guides are trying to say to you, especially if you love animals. And trust me, you guys, there are safaris that you can do in different countries that don't need to break the bank. There are so many ways in which you can go on a new adventure, and your guides want you to do so in a country that has these huge birds. Okay, ostriches are huge birds. There are also other very big types of eagles. So I do see that it's time for you to embark on a new adventure. Even if you feel like you should be working, you should be doing other things, you have other responsibilities. Group number 1, I have a huge news flash for you. You have your whole life's worth of responsibilities and things to do and to-do lists to work off and bills to pay and people to take care of and just other things that aren't living your life. You have an entire life's worth of that ahead of you. But do you want to spend your entire life only doing that? And how bad is it really going to be if you just take a little bit of time to go on a new adventure and focus on you and to also see a new country? Okay, I see here within the cause lettuce, there is a desire for you to do so. There has been a wish and a desire for a while. We also have got the number 3 and the symbol of Cancer. Now, Cancer is a water sign that is notoriously emotional. I'm allowed to say that because I'm a Cancerian myself. Yes, we are little emotional crybabies or savages depending on the situation. And when we want something, we really want it. We really feel into it. And I see that you're taking on some of that Cancerian vibe, flair, and trait when it comes to going on this new adventure. You've been wanting to visit this place. You've been wanting to go to this country. You've been wanting to start something new, to embark on an adventure you have never been on before. And it's time that you stop denying yourself of it. You have received this message and this reading for a reason, group number 1. And the reason is to give you confirmation and encouragement that, yeah, it is finally time for you to prioritize the adventures and the things on your bucket list that you would like to cross off. Next up, we've got the chili. And the chili corresponds to stimulation. We also have the number 18, which the number 18 is actually divided by the number 3. We get the number 6. And the number 6 is a number of family, of generosity, and of not being afraid to actually even ask your family to help you out with things while you're gone. If you are going on a very prolonged trip, they can check your mail, they can feed your plants, feed your cat, whatever it is that needs to be done. Take action towards it. We have the symbol of Aries here. The symbol of Aries is the symbol of a fire sign of taking action. Chilies are fiery, they're hot, they're temperamental when it comes to the whole scope of fruit and vegetable, right? So here within the chilies, I want you to know that stimulation is something that you need to sometimes give to yourself. And stimulation is something that when we completely ignore it, life can become really dull. And when you get to that point where life becomes dull, it is hard to even get up in the morning. And that is when seasonal depression can set in as well. And we think something is wrong with us. We think something isn't right until we realize, oh, wait, actually, it's not that something isn't right. It's just that we haven't properly been stimulated in a very long time. And it's time for us to think outside of the box. It's time for us to do something that stimulates us really differently and excites us and gives us a little bit of a positive type of anxiety. You know, when you're really excited for something and you don't know what's coming next, that's the type of anxiety that I mean. Like when you're about to get on an airplane, even like going on an airplane for the very first time, if you remember that feeling, if you weren't too young to remember it, or you just remember how it was as a young child or teenager or young adult, whenever your first time actually was, group number 1, remember how exciting that feeling was. That's the type of exhilarating feeling that I'm getting here within the chili that you must be stimulated with. Then we also have the onion for protection. Now, any of my fellow sisters and brothers who like onions, hello, hi, you get the vibe. For all of you who don't, you would know why onions represent protection. But even if you like onions, I mean, they do have a very strong odor and smell. Some of us love it, some of us don't like it at all. And here within the onion, it's just about the fact that that is a cloak of protection. That is a cloak that you are familiar with, that you've smelt before, and you think to yourself, okay, I know what this is all about. So remind yourself that while you're going out on a very stimulating experience, on a very stimulating adventure, there will also be a lot of things that you can come back to and think, oh, well, I know this is familiar, this is something that I can just relax with, whether it be talking to friends and family who have already been on this adventure you're going on and asking them how it was, letting them calm your mind, texting someone while you're traveling, that can really calm you to not feel so overly excited and in a way very nervous. So just know that there are so many ways in which you can protect yourself from feeling like it's too much or feeling like you're super anxious and scared and afraid. Another thing here that I'm noticing is that the chili came with the number 18, the onion came with the number 9, and the cause lettuce came with the number 3. What's really interesting is that 18 divided by 2 equals 9. 9 divided by 3 equals 3. 3 once we multiply that, we can either receive 9 or 18. So we have only received multiples of 3. And we have also picked 3 of these cards that are all of these vegetable and fruit cards from this deck. And prior to that, again, we laid 3 cards before we got to this point. So the number 3 is of divine importance for you, group number 1. The number 3 is a number that you will keep seeing after you have received this reading. And it is a positive number for you. 333, your angel number that your guides are going to be sending to you from here on out to remind you that you have all of the knowledge that you need within. Now it's time to follow it. Now it's time to trust yourself, to trust your gut feeling, to trust your intuition, and to know that you have the next steps within you. The next steps that you are taking are going to be the right ones for you and your life and where you're going. We also have the crown next. I mean, can your reading get any more meaningful, regal, and just show you what a boss you are, group number 1? In the crown, honor and respect will come to you. Know that even though you have had self-doubt of whether the path you have chosen for your life, the decisions you've made professionally, and on how you want to live your life with your own traditions, your own values, your own norms. The fact that that is something that can cause insecurity or make you wonder whether your friends, family, and the general population will ever understand or appreciate, that is falling away the more honor and respect comes to you, because actually what you are, group number 1, is a pioneer. Leave a crown emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you chose group number 1 and you made it to this point in your reading, because that is the only way that you would know. So when the symbol of the crown shows up, this is an exceedingly positive one that also shows that a lot of power is going to come towards you. I also want us to look into our book of symbols to see what the crown means on a symbolic level throughout history. So allow for me to just look up the crown here so that we can read up on it a little more. All right, so we have the crown 540. Now let's see what we've got here. Crown. Here we go, group number 1. Let's read into it. Anyone who has ever seen the crown of a monarch cannot fail to be struck by the majesty emanating from the soft luster of precious gems and coronal radiance of gold. A coronation is a solificatio, for the crowned head is identified with the sun and its source of life and fertility, which in the crowning of a sovereign is conferred on the whole kingdom. Nature preceded us not only with the sun, but the lovely yellow coronas in the center of flowers, the brilliant crown-like plumage of many birds, and the horns of animals. 2,000 years ago, Gnostic gems portrayed the 7 or the 12-rayed crown of light on the head of Agathodamon, the tail-eating serpent of wisdom. In alchemical fantasy, earthly metals and gems corresponded to the distinct qualities projected on planetary and sidereal luminaries. The crown was emblematic of the goal of the opus to synthesize these elements with the sun, or at the psychological level to integrate the diverse properties of the totality of the self with sun-like consciousness. The crown exalts one who is lowly, such as the Virgin Mary, the humble handmaiden of the Lord, who, crowned by the angels, becomes the regal and compassionate Queen of Heaven. Or the Anima Mundi, alchemy's soul of the world, who wears the diadem that conveys the august reunion of matter and spirit. Yet the crown can be weighty, more than merely a halo of splendor. In Shakespeare's Henry IV, Part 2, the King laments, "Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown," and Prince Hall reiterates the woe of his diminished father. "Oh, polished perturbation, golden care!" The crown of thorns pierces the brow of Christ on the cross, mocking his earthly kingship while elevating his suffering to spiritual majesty. Mythic Ariadne's breathtaking crown also represents the inescapable ring of her destiny of love, seduction, abandonment, and death. Nevertheless, children in their make-believe beauty queens, athletic victors, and royal heirs still seek the crown, whose lofty ritual and ancient symbolism secure its glory. And here we have the Virgin crowned by angels, detail workshop of Stefan Lochner, oil on wood, about 1450 or later in Germany. Für all meine deutschsprachigen Subscribers, I love you guys. Ich liebe euch. Danke, dass ihr da seid. So let's continue on within your reading, shall we? Receiving the crown. So for one, we have honor and respect, and for two, also the crown, as we just read, is about having responsibility too. That doesn't just make your life easy. And the dog far away, a distant friend is thinking of you, group number one. And this distant friend is probably going to reach out to you when you have another accolade and accomplishment that you can add to your list of things that you have done within this lifetime. So a graduation, receiving some sort of extra promotion, just you celebrating successes that you have had, it is going to attract some old friends back into your life. Now, whether you want them to come into your life or not will be up to you, but I see here within the four-leaf clover that you have great good fortune that it lies ahead. Group number one, this is a really, really positive foreshadowing for your future. The crown, the four-leaf clover, the onion, which symbolizes protection, and this distant friend thinking about you is probably thinking about you in a positive way, someone with whom the contact fizzled out with, but nothing bad happened. It's not like anything happened that was really terrible or so. It just fizzled out because they moved away. You had different lifestyles, you had different goals, but they're thinking of you and they want to come back into your life. And the turkey shows us here that the reason why they want to reconnect with you is because they're dealing with a lot of people who they feel are behaving stupidly. And they don't want to be around those people anymore. They want to elevate their friend circle. And to them, an elevated friend circle is a friend circle in which they see you being in as well, group number one. So this person in the dog far away is someone who knows how to deal with people who behave in a mocking manner, in a manner that is like antagonizing others, but they don't want that. They're not interested in that. That is not the type of life that they're trying to lead. They want to be around winners such as yourself and people who are pulling more good fortune into their life through actually being on the same vibrational energy with what they want. As we spoke about earlier, group number one, instead of focusing on what you don't want, remind yourself that energy flows where your attention goes. So wherever it is that you place your attention, you will be placing your energy. Place your energy on making more money, on exploring, on traveling. Catch flights, not feelings. We're getting that here in the 9th house. The 9th house is the house of exploration, of long distance travel. I want to see you hop on this plane, group number one. This plane across the country to a different continent. I want to see you do this long distance travel finally. If not now, when then? Please let me know when then. I'll wait. Another thing here within the 9th house is that this connects to the sign of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is a fire sign ruled by Jupiter that is so optimistic, can also be kind of scattered. But the thing about Sagittarius is that Sagittarius is honest, and you are meant to receive this honest message that now's your time, group number one. It will never be a better time for you to travel, for you to explore, for you to go on an adventure, and for you to see the world. And here within Vesta, I can see that there is a burning desire within you to go, to explore, to even see about relocating, because relocation is something that you can only consider once you've actually been to a couple other places. Otherwise, you're just going off of videos on the internet or blog posts. And here within Vesta, I just want you to know that wherever it is that you're going next on your journey, there is going to be this hearth, there is going to be this campfire type of vibe, there is going to be this sitting outside around a fire with other people, and that's when you're going to decide your next steps. And I also want to add some letters into your reading. So these are the letters that we've intuitively received for you. All right, so we have N, O, I, and U. So in French, we have oui, which means yes. And then we also have the letter N still left. So I want to add a few more letters in for you, group number one. So you guys, yes, I do speak a little bit of French, and then we've also got the letters I-S-N. Okay, sin, yes, sin a little. Group number one, it is time for you to sin a little bit. I mean, don't say that you got that from my channel. Okay, don't say that I told you to do this, but can we sin a little bit? Can we live a little bit? Can we just be a little wild? Can we step out of our comfort zone? Can we do some things that we've dreamt of doing? Can we just have fun, even romantically speaking, without feeling obligated to make it seem as though that takes away from your self-worth, from your dignity, from your value, from your ethics, your morals? No, you can have a good time. You can experience and explore life and have a little sinful kind of time in your life without that meaning you're a bad person, without judging yourself. Just imagine when you've got your kids and your grandkids and all of the amazing stories you'll be able to tell them and share with them because you actually lived life, because you actually led a life in which, yeah, maybe you misbehaved a little bit. And what is misbehaving anyways, group number one? There is just this rule book, whereas at some point we say to people that they're misbehaving, they're not doing things right, but I mean, the lines are blurry when it comes to that. And the thing is about having fun and not harming anyone else. And within your reading, I just see that you're the type of person who wouldn't be doing that anyways. So have fun, explore yourself, explore your body, explore love, explore different options, travel, group number one. That is precisely what you are meant to do in this phase and cycle within your life. And it is possible. Don't say that you don't have the funds, that you're not able to do so because you don't have the time, because you're always working. Whether you don't have the time or you don't have the funds or you feel like you're not healthy enough, there is always a way to make your dreams possible. You just need to look for how to do it and stop focusing on what is holding you back, because we'll always find an excuse for something. But let me tell you, I have friends who have no pennies to their name and they have been able to travel the world. They made it happen somehow. I have friends who run multi-million-dollar companies, have so many people and responsibilities working for them, working with them. They find ways to travel, to do things, to enjoy their life, to have romantic relationships. And I've also got friends who are maybe not able-bodied, who have some sort of mental holdback, something that is making life rather challenging for them. And even they find a way to live their lives. They find a way to make it real. And it's funny how often people who seem to have the biggest hurdles to overcome, the biggest obstacles, are often the ones who actually make these things happen for themselves the most. And maybe it's because they just think to themselves, well, what do I have to lose? So let's not get too comfortable, group number one. Let's remind ourselves that There are other people out here who can inspire us to step out of what we know and what is comfortable and go on these adventures that we are called to go on. This is your time. This is your season and your year. This is also a timeless reading, group number 1. So whenever you've tuned into this is precisely when you're meant to receive this message and this reading. So group 1, just hold on tight. I'm going to clear and cleanse the space, and then I'll be right back to guide you even more deeply into the only tarot reading that you will ever need. Hello, my beautiful souls of group number 1. So let's delve a little more deeply into your reading, shall we? I'm going to use some of our astro dice right here because why not? After all, this is the only tarot reading that you will ever need, and we're going to use all the resources that we have to get the info that you are meant to receive. So let's see what we've got. We've got Aries on yes. So I want you to know here that the symbol of Aries actually falling onto our field that says yes shows us that this is the type of person that you should have in your life. If you are an Aries, group number 1, then I just want you to know that this is your season. Right now, planet Earth is in a very favorable spot when it comes to being an Aries. Just overall, I'm talking like in the big frame of Earth's history and of Earth's age, if you will. And having Aries energy around you, that's a big yes, group number 1. So this is a very fortunate thing to show up. Then we also have, here. One thing we've got is Venus. Venus showed up and Venus didn't land on the board. So Venus in Aries, that makes for a very explosive, very seductive combination. And having Venus show up within your reading shows that you are the type of person that should now take action when it comes to beauty and external appearance. The sign of Aries is a sign of taking action. It's a fire sign. It is a sign that is passionate, enthusiastic, temperamental, spontaneous. And what your guides are trying to say to you in regards to your beauty and aesthetics, take action. If you've wanted to have a routine where you work out more, where you eat healthy things and supplements such as collagen and stuff like that, buy what you need, take it every day, start feeling good from the inside out. If you have been thinking of getting some sort of surgical or non-surgical treatment, do the research and figure out, is this something that you still want? If so, take the step to move forward, do it. You won't regret it. You won't look back and think to yourself, oh, I shouldn't have done it, and so on. If that's really what you want, think about it, create some sort of payment plan, and make sure that you start saving up for it. Here we've got the number 2 that landed on Monday. I just want to finish my thoughts when it comes to these treatments and quote unquote improvements that you want to make. Of course, you can still love yourself and feel like you're beautiful without any kind of intervention. But for some of us, it does give us a confidence boost. Just think about teeth, for example. There are a lot of people who get their teeth done and who get them whitened, fixed, straightened out, whatever it is, and all of a sudden they feel much better, they feel much more confident, they smile, they feel like going to social engagements because they are not feeling as though they have to be ashamed or embarrassed about speaking up in front of other people. So here within Monday and the number 2, I want you to know here that on Mondays you will regularly be seeing the number 222, but also the number 2 for Monday shows that that is a day of teamwork. The number 2 is about 2 opposing forces, 2 people who can be polar opposites working together on the same goal, on the same kind of end result, and making sure that they actually get there together. Starting off on Monday, setting the goals, doing all of the right things. So that's what I see here within Monday. Let's roll another die. Then we also have the number 11 that just kind of landed more in the center of the board here. And the number 11 is a master number. This is a master number of someone who is an initiator, of someone who brings inspiration to others. And this is precisely what you need to hear right now. You are the type of person that is meant to inspire others. You are the type that is supposed to do some wild, crazy, unusual things within this lifetime and to accomplish greatness in a way that people within your lineage haven't seen before you, group number 1. And yes, this is special. This is different. This shows that you are indeed someone that was underestimated, and now you're showing everyone what is really behind that smile, what you're really made of. And I see here within the eye, oh, you actually have psychic ability too. That's why you were meant to receive this reading, to remind you of the fact that you do have a very clairvoyant streak within you. You do have psychic ability within you. And you are underestimating just how psychic you are. The eye shows us here that you're the kind of person that has either like lucid dreams or who sees things before they have happened. So if you feel this feeling of like deja vu very often, you know why. That's your psychic ability. And someone who can kind of foresee things. So being a seer, that's what it's called, being someone who can see things happening before they have actually transpired into this dimension, seeing things coming, seeing things developing in a plethora of different ways that others may have not even thought of. And within the wheel, we've got indecisiveness. So when this shows up in conjunction to the eye, this is actually symbolic of an explanation as to why you can often be very indecisive, and it may feel or seem as though you're allowing your life to ramble aimlessly, but there's actually a good reason for it, and this is not an excuse. This is because you can see so far ahead. You have such a strong connection to guides, to the universe, to your spirits, that with seeing all of these different possibilities and opportunities, of course, who wouldn't be indecisive? Who could just pick at the like blink of an eye? So that is why you're often torn. That is why it's often for you to fully embrace the decisiveness of Aries energy. Hence, also why your guides want you to embrace more of this type of energy around you. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If some of them are Aries, decisive type of Aries, that will influence you and that will balance you out in the areas in which you can improve when it comes to decision making and taking action. Next up, we have got the teapot. The teapot is what I meant to say, is a card of deep friendship with someone of the same gender, the same sex. So the teapot is all about having a very deep connection with someone, and it's most likely a platonic connection as well. That's what the teapot represents. So that kind of depends on you and your personal preferences, but you get what I'm trying to say. This is a platonic friendship with someone that you just feel like you can share the tea with, someone with whom you can giggle, you can share your deepest innermost thoughts with. They don't judge you. They're the type of person who simply allows you to just be, who simply allows you to just express how you feel. And you can also express to them that you feel that you are actually psychic, because sometimes that can be a point of shame. It can be a very wounded part of ourselves, because people can sometimes ridicule having a sixth sense. Some people don't believe that we have a thing such as intuition or a sixth sense. Some people think it is just impossible. So that is where opinions differ, because it's not something that can be measured or scientifically proven at this point in time. But here within the teapot, just being around like-minded people who get it, who understand it, that is one thing that I can see is really serving you. Actually, here within the younger man, I see that that connection and that relationship is most likely going to be with someone who has this younger man energy. So dealings or a relationship with a younger man. For me, I intuitively and instinctively think of a really great friend of mine who is a younger man, where I feel like I can just kind of share how I feel. This is not a person of the same sex, but this is someone who has a platonic connection with me, because we're just not attracted to each other in that type of sensual way. And that is the type of person with whom I also feel like I can be a lot more decisive, because they encourage me to be that way. So that's an example from my life, group number 1, to allow you to apply that to your life as well. But also know here within the younger man and the indecisiveness within the wheel, another thing that is turning and spinning, those are your thoughts on this younger man. So they don't actually have to be younger in the sense of their age being less than you. Sometimes people can feel younger when they're really immature. Like, it also sparks this imagination within you about this person, you know, this younger man that you know. They don't know what they want. They're indecisive. They are the type of person who is not clear in their intention or doesn't even have any intentionality. And I want you to know here that when there's indecisiveness with someone who gives you younger man energy, trust your psychic abilities, trust what you can foresee. Like, for example, one time I met someone and I just immediately foresaw where this connection would go, and I knew it had to happen. There was no way to avoid it. Like, this was a connection that I had to explore, I had to go through, I had to have my heart broken. And from the moment I met them, I trusted my intuition that this would be a deeper connection, but because of their indecisiveness, it would eventually break, even though I would develop such strong feelings for them. So I just want you to know here that sometimes when you meet someone, you already know what the story is going to be. You already know it's going to be a situationship, a heartbreak, maybe a forever relationship or forever friendship. It doesn't have to mean it will be a heartbreak. Like, you might also meet someone and know, okay, this is my forever person. This is my wife, my husband. This is my best friend forever. Whatever it is that you sense and you feel, trust it and know that indecisiveness definitely means that this is not a connection that is meant to last. Next up, we've got the sign of Cancer. As you guys know, I am a Cancerian myself, and Cancer is a water sign that is highly emotional, but also allows you to really immerse yourself in feelings. And I see here within the teapot, the eye and Cancer, having a strong Cancerian friendship is the type of friendship that you thrive on as well, group number one. And it's the type of friendship where you feel on a Monday when you have to work with someone, Cancer is a sign that you can work with really well, because you know that you can rely on them, you know that they will tell you how they feel, and you know that they're dedicated and they're the type of person that is not going to just kind of leave you in the dust whenever you need something done. And then we've also got Scorpio. So notice how Cancer had the number 4 here at the top of the card. And then Scorpio has the number 8. So numerologically speaking, the number 4 is a number of stability. This is a number of having a solid foundation. The number 8 is a number of abundance. And Scorpio is like the more intense version of Cancer, the more savage version, because this is also a water sign, by the way. Despite many people thinking Scorpio is an earth sign, intuitively it is a water sign. And on this note of astrological references, I also want to remind everyone, Aquarius is an air sign. Aquarius does seem like, okay, well, we've got the water bearer and the name says aqua, which is water, right? But no, Aquarius is an air sign. Scorpio is a water sign. Scorpio is known to be very, very intense, and Scorpio will investigate everything down to the smallest little detail. And I do see here that having very emotional, kind of family-oriented energy alongside not being afraid to investigate and get to the truth, that is precisely the type of vibe that you need within your life, because you don't have time to waste, nor are you okay with any kind of dishonest or unloyal connections and relationships. So avoiding that at all costs is what I can see here for you. And just even with the younger man, the wheel and Scorpio, I see that investigating what someone is doing when you already have a gut feeling that something is off, do you really want to hurt your own feelings like that? Like, do you really need to see those emails, those DMs, those text messages? Do we really need to unarchive what they sent to that person? I don't think it's necessary, because the 6 of Cups here shows that there are so many better other relationships for you to focus on within your life. Why focus on the ones that cause indecisiveness or confusion? You know, group number 1, there's no point. The 6 of Cups also shows us here that you're actually meant to end up with somebody who has the Scorpio energy of whenever you want something or whenever there's something that interests you, they investigate that. So they show care through action. So this is a big thing, group number 1, that I think more of us need to start focusing on, especially when it comes to romantic relationships. What type of action does the person take? Stop falling for what they're saying, for what comes out of their mouth that is not tangible. Can't pay your bills with that. You can't actually feel happy through just what someone is saying. I mean, maybe temporarily, but it's not going to give you stability in the long run. So here, the 6 of Blades shows us that we are shifting from one area of thinking that words mean something to actually becoming a lot more tough on people earning their place in your life, so to say, and not just taking words as a confirmation that, oh, okay, this person says that they mean well, so I will just trust them. You actually want to see action, you want to see results, you want to see them do the corresponding things to prove that they are worthy of your time and your energy. Otherwise, it is a no for you. Yes, you want a ring. You want that commitment, group number one. A marriage will take place either romantic or business. That's what the ring stands for. But we were also just talking about romantic kind of gestures and action over talk. So without a ring, you are just friends. You are just acquaintances, all right? You are single until you are married. When it comes to legal documents and forms, there is also no area where you can tick the box that you are in a relationship or situationship. So unless you are married, you can only tick the box single. So we are going by that, group number one. We are going by the fact that unless there is a ring and a commitment, we are just doing our own thing, and we are not taking anyone too seriously because you've done that, you know where that leads, and it is just not a road you want to go down again. The scales shows that actually just being a little bit more hard, so to say, on people, making them prove themselves more, that is keeping your life in balance, because the thing is, like, you are so empathetic, you are so compassionate, group number one, that often you fall into this trap of letting people get away with things that they really shouldn't be getting away with, and trusting them, believing them without actually having them show action, show that they are someone who is worthy of your time and your love. But the scales shows that you are now bringing what was once out of balance back into balance by making sure that people actually need to prove themselves. They actually need to do something. They can't just talk and can't just like kind of sweet talk you into feeling like, okay, this is like the right person, or, well, they said they would marry me, like they said they couldn't live without me. But how many of your exes are still alive and they said that? You know what I'm saying? So here within the Two of Swords, we can see two swords and a rose in the middle. So these two swords being around the rose, not actually cutting the rose, which is delicate and often also symbolic of romantic love, care, and life. So the Two of Swords shows us here that actually you're very protective over your love and your life, which is great. And you have other people, close friends and family, who have become really protective over you as well, especially in these last weeks and months, because they don't want to see you go through any pain or heartbreak. They want to protect you at all costs from any kind of relationship that is just not in alignment with your mental health. So here within the Eight of Swords, I do also see that we have this star power of you wanting to come out of your shell. And the thing here within the Eight of Swords is that you have been overthinking for a long time about whether you should actually share your gifts, who you truly are, how much you should share of yourself. And the Eight of Swords shows us here that the overthinking is something that you're bringing to an end. The overthinking is something that you're no longer going to be doing within your life, because you don't deserve to just lead a life of just overthinking and worrying and kind of feeling self-conscious. You don't need that, group number one. You have been through your own fair share of hardships, heartbreak, and challenges, and now it's time to just fully embrace who you are. So we are now going to add some charms into your reading. I'm just going to intuitively pick a charm from this charm bag that we have. All right. Ooh, okay. So actually we had this. All right. So we have this hand that just popped right out. I wanted to see if it would fall anywhere on the board, but it just kind of like went to the edge of the viewfinder here, to the edge of where this deck is. And I just want you to know here within the hand that this is symbolic of accepting help. Group number one, if you have had an issue with accepting help, with allowing people to just give you a little bit of support and a little bit of help, it is about time that you allow for people to help you. And also another thing is that a palm reading might help you get more insight and information on who you are. So I do have actually a video on my channel that is like called Palmistry 101 reading, I think, or like palm reading, something like that. Just type it into the search bar. And in that video, I explain basic palm reading to you and how you can read your own palms, so you don't actually need to go out and pay somebody to do it or find someone who you trust. I have that video right there, and you can read your own palms and your own hands immediately by watching that video. So make sure that you check that out. So do accept help, do read your palms, do figure out more about your destiny and who you truly are. And group number 1, what I will do now is I will clear and cleanse the space, and then I'll be back so we can delve a little more deeply into your reading. So just hang on tight. There's nothing you need to do. Just continue to relax into the space, and I'll be right back so we can continue on within the only tarot reading that you will ever need. All right, group number 1, let's delve even more deeply into your reading, shall we? Because if there's one thing that we love, and that's a very detailed tarot card reading and psychic prediction. So I intuitively feel called to picking this card for you. So we have the sorrel. One thing you need to know here is that you're a really affectionate person who also deserves the same type of affection right back. We also have the symbol of Taurus here. We've got the cat looking into this mirror. So you're a very independent person. When you look in the mirror, you may not quite realize just how much you have been starving yourself of your own affection too, telling yourself how amazing you are, how deserving you are, giving yourself affection by, for example, allowing yourself to have beautiful deep massages while moisturizing your skin, doing some self-care such as some skin exfoliation. I just did it this morning. I was excited all night. I went to bed really early so I could wake up early and do self-care. And I definitely see here within the sorrel, it is time for you to do more of that. And within the Taurus, which is also symbolic of earth and material resources, invest in yourself. Invest in giving yourself affection, group number 1, because when you do that, you will actually start to realize how it has a real impact, not just on your confidence, but also your performance professionally. So it may feel as though, well, I don't want to spend money, I don't want to be wasteful. Investing in yourself is the smartest decision and smartest investment you will ever make, because without you running on an optimal kind of level, there is no money to be made. Without you existing, you cannot continue to accumulate or acquire more riches. So you are really the most important aspect within this lifetime and within your career. And here within the banana, I can see this duality that spirit wants to bring forth for you. The banana is all about understanding that for one, you can work hard, but for two, you can also still spoil and pamper yourself. You can also still be the person who has a chill life. In order to be wealthy or successful or have a really great business, it doesn't have to be stressful. You don't have to give up everything that you love. You don't have to choose between a private life or balance and being successful. You only have to choose when you choose to believe that tale, and that's not a story that we are choosing to continue to believe and perpetuate. So the sweet corn shows us that you need a ritual. We need to call you out right here because group number 1, for how long have you been saying that you will do this ritual, like either meditating or doing yoga or writing things down, and then you didn't do it? So here we have the symbol of Leo, which is ruled by the sun. Leo is a zodiac sign that leads, that does, that is fun-loving, but also just rolls up their sleeves when necessary. And one thing here with the sweet corn is your ritual needs to start now. So right after receiving this reading, write it in your notes app, write it down on a piece of paper. I prefer physical paper because I just find it is more impactful for me personally. Write down your goals, write down your aspirations, have a ritual, a self-care ritual that allows you to feel good about yourself. Have a ritual of constantly repeating things until you actually believe them. That is how you manifest, through rituals. A lot of people ask themselves, why are my manifestations not working? How can I manifest this? How can I manifest that? Well, you have to actually believe it. If you just say, I wish to have X, Y, or Z, that is not actually going to manifest anything into your life. You have to actually do it on a ritualistic, repetitive type of basis over and over again. And you have to actually also feel the emotion ahead of time of already having accomplished the things that you desire. That is how you will attract it into your life for real, in a tangible sense. So here within the meerkat, we have a message of getting support from a trusted group of like-minded friends. And again, the duality of you are independent, you are the person who can do their own thing. We see that here within the cat and the mirror. and you don't even realize how independent you've become, that it is hard for you to even reach out to people if they're like-minded or they're in a group of other individuals who truly would get what you're trying to say. So it is time to wind the individuality and the independence down a little bit. It's not that you become less independent and more dependent, but it's just like you have other means of being supported and supporting yourself. Why not use them? Why do you have to be hyper independent? Group number one, you don't need to be hyper independent. And coming to that realization and that empowering notion that if you have to do everything alone, you can, but if you don't have to, it's also fine to take some help and to accept help. That is beautiful. Within the ladybug, this is a time of good fortune and abundance, so be willing to receive all good things in your life. This is a very positive foreshadowing, and please feel free to leave a ladybug emoji below in the comment section if you made it all the way to this point within your reading, group number one, because the ladybug is truly just showing us that abundance and a time of good fortune lays just around the corner of you receiving this reading. There's a reason why you're receiving this. And the thing here within receiving this reading is that the ladybug is trying to tell you, okay, you've received this reading. Now it's also time for you to receive other things. Don't be afraid to receive more. Don't be afraid to sometimes be on the receiving end rather than always being on the giving end. You are a giver. We've seen that, group number one. You've proven that. We all know that. You don't need to continue to prove that. I also just want to add some more letters into your reading because I intuitively feel called to. So we have GAXS and we also have Q. Okay, so gas, that's one thing, but we also have Sag for Sagittarius. Okay, and then we have X and Q, QX. So gas, Sagittarius, that's what we've got here within your reading at this point, and QX. This is an interesting combination. I want us to move further into your reading so we can get a little bit more insight for you, group number one, as to what you need to know here. Okay, so within I Am Golden, it's time for you to put the gas on feeling golden, on feeling special. When are you going to start to feel special, group number one? Not to call you out, but we only have one life to live. It is time to now feel special and abundant ahead of time, ahead of having your dream home, your dream car, your dream career. You don't need that to happen until you can start to feel golden and special and deserving and worthy. Actually feeling that emotion ahead of actually having those things in your life. That is what's going to attract them into your life. That is what's going to make you the owner of those experiences and those material things that you may long for. And then here within I'm Golden, I also just want you to know here with Q and X, these are rather rare letters to receive. Again, with I'm Golden, it is about your rarity. It is about the things that make you different. And that is where you should put more of your energy into. And those are the parts of you that you can express more freely, professionally, but also in your personal life, because that's what you will be remembered and loved for the most. In the Midas touch, we have the master number 11 again. The Midas touch is not only a really beautiful depiction of a card, but you may have heard this before. It reminds me of a Drake song too. The Midas touch is basically when someone touches things and they turn to gold. I'm sure you've heard that saying before, like, oh, anything this person touches turns to gold. Yeah, that's the Midas touch. And the thing here within the Midas touch is that being in a position in your life where you have this, it can also bring a lot of naysayers to you. It can also draw a lot of, in a sense, evil eye, a lot of jealousy to you and towards your life, because people want the same. They wish that they too had the Midas touch, but that is just not always possible for everyone in every phase of their life. And it also depends on people's mindsets as well. Of course, if someone is a jealous person or just not in a very positive spirited place, they will feel even more lack around the Midas touch, because you cannot have the Midas touch if you are in a state of negativity or a state of being jealous on all my beautiful souls within group number one. So the thing here about the Midas touch is to orient yourself around people who also have this Midas touch or seem to have the Midas touch. Ooh, sorry, I just accidentally bumped my mic. And I just want you to remember that successful people rarely point at others, talk about others for a reason, because they're busy with their own success. And here within the Queen of Swords, the Königin der Schwerter, as we've got here within this deck, as it is in German, I just want you to know here that this shows us strength, ambition, and that you know the truth. You know that if people are jealous, if people are in a space where they feel the need to talk to, how do I say this in English? Lästern, you know, when you are talking behind other people's back, when you are gossiping, exactly, that's the word I was looking for. And that is just like not your vibe, that's not your story, that's not your deal. You don't judge anyone who is in that headspace or who is in that phase, but it's just you had that phase when you were 13 years old, and now you're over it. Now you've moved on. Now you have other more important things to do. And people who are still in that space, it's hard to leave them behind sometimes for good, because it feels like you're giving up on a friendship, but you have other things to build. The Three of Coins is a card of building. This is a card that shows 3 coins. We also have strawberries, and we have this almost heart-looking shape here. The Suit of Coins is the suit of things in the material realm, such as your job, such as building things professionally. There are just like-minded individuals. The number 3 is a number of collaborating. You have other people to collaborate with who feel confident in themselves as well, who are leaders, who are successful people. So honestly, group number 1, you just don't really have time for people who are still in a negative headspace within their life. And it's not that you are judging them. Okay, here the judgment card is like, you're not like being preachy or trying to tell them how to live their life or anything like that. It's just, you can tell here within judgment that it's okay, you can forgive the fact that you were maybe in a friend group or friends with people for too long who made snide comments or remarks, who were very small-minded, who didn't truly believe in you or want you to excel the way that you knew that you could. And you're not judging them for it. You understand that it comes from a place of their own insecurities, but at the same time, you're going to leave that where it is. You're not going to resurrect that connection. And the thing is, like, you have got the pedal to the metal, full force forward. We've got gas in our tank, and now what we're doing is we're driving towards our dreams and our aspirations, and we're making those a reality, which is beautiful, group number 1, and you should be proud of that. So group 1, I am going to clear and cleanse the space, and then I'll be back so we can move more deeply into your reading. So just hold on tight, and we will continue on into your psychic prediction. Welcome back, group number 1. Did you miss me? So let's move a little further into your reading and see what messages that you need to receive in order for this to be the only tarot reading that you'll ever need. So first up, we've got spiritual abundance, and we've got one more card that I've selected for you intuitively. Let's first talk about the exciting prospects of your spiritual abundance card that showed up for you. So here within spiritual abundance, you're thanking your angels for blessing you with infinite abundance ahead of time. Remember how we spoke about being grateful ahead of time, feeling the emotions ahead of time? That's what we've got here within spiritual abundance. So in order for you to actually have financial abundance, material abundance that comes to fruition in real life, so in a tangible sense, you have to already have spiritual abundance in place. And this is something that your guides are communicating to you. You can have today, you can have right now. You can feel grateful right now for having shelter, for having access to internet, to a device that you're watching this on, being able to hear if you can hear, or read the captions if that's what you're using. Just feeling gratitude for your body right now, your hands, your limbs, your existence. That is spiritual abundance. Next up, we've got Shine Your Light and Archangel Uriel. Now, Archangel Uriel is about helping you to share your light with the world. And this is an angel that holds this burning torch here with a flame that is looking very put together, if you will. It's looking like this archangel goes to the angelic heavenly gems a lot. And this Archangel Uriel is all about reigniting your spark, your passion, and lighting you up so that you can share that light with the world. One thing that I've recently felt is that after my trip to seeing my best friend over in her home in a place that is sunny, that is warm, and just being together, spending a lot of time talking, processing, healing, and lifting each other up, I feel like I can shine my light a lot more. So sometimes just going and visiting someone who is close to your heart, spending time abroad, spending time in a different environment is all you need in order to activate your light and to completely change the trajectory of how you see your life and how you see your existence in this earthly realm. And sometimes we kind of underestimate the power of our fellow humans that are within our lives, and we kind of underestimate how much just having the right people around you can truly make a huge positive impact on where you're going within your existence. So we have the seventh house here for you. The seventh house is the house of relationships. This is also the house that corresponds to the zodiac sign of Libra, and this is the house of marriage. This is the house of these type of long-term connections and relationships. So the seventh house showing up for you shows us here that if this is something that you want or something that you would like improvement on within your life, the thing that you're being called to do in order to get this partnership into your existence is to already feel it ahead of time. All right, so stop feeling as though, oh, I want this, I'm not getting it, where is it? Feel the sensation and the emotion of having your husband, your wife, your forever partner ahead of already having them. Okay, feel the sensation before you've even met them, as though you are already in a fulfilled partnership. Remind yourself that the partnership you have with yourself can also be a very fulfilling one. I also want to add some charms. Okay, the charms that we got here is the cat as well as this lotus flower. So don't be surprised if the person that you will end up with loves cats or even owns a cat. They are the type of person who has a very holistic worldview. They are independent. That's another thing within this cat. But see how this cat is in a very playful pose too within this charm. So they're a playful, independent, fun-loving type of person. The seventh house shows us here that they're ready to settle down, and all you need to do is to ensure that you already feel abundant and full ahead of time, because group number one, you're not missing anything. You are not incomplete or imperfect without another person within your life. You are already beautiful, perfect, and astounding as you are. Remind yourself of this frequently, daily, as much as you possibly can. And also remember here within the seventh house, which is the house of relationships, connecting to the zodiac sign of Libra. Libra is a sign of balance. That is the astrological sign that has the scale within it, and it's ruled by Venus. Venus is the planet of beauty, attraction, aesthetics, harmony, also having similar value systems. So do not compromise on that, because in the past, when you've compromised your values, your wants, your needs, and your requirements for a relationship, your minimum requirements, what has it done for you? It didn't lead to what you wanted, right? Remember that the right person for you will want to meet your standards. For them, it will be a non-negotiable as well. For them, it will be easy to meet your standards because, well, duh, they are the right person for you. And I see here within progressions that it's time for you to enjoy this journey that you're on, group number one. It's time for you to stop wanting to get to this next goalpost in order to then be happy. There's no such thing as getting to the next goalpost and then being happy, because guess what? Once you reach that goalpost, there will just be another goalpost that is a little further away. So happiness shouldn't be contingent on a certain number within your bank account or a certain job or having a certain relationship status. Remember, your happiness is contingent on how you want to feel right now. You don't have to wait for anything to transpire in order for you to be happy. You can start to feel happy and fulfilled right now, even though sometimes, depending on what we're going through, it can seem far-fetched, it can seem far away, but the possibility is here. The option is always here to choose to be happy, to choose to see the light, to choose to see the opportunity in life. So here we also have the number 45 and 56, so 4556. If you're looking for a new 4-digit password, group number one, that is your password, 4556. And I also want you to know here within progressions in this journey that you've got time on your hands. If there's one thing you've got that Spirit wants to tell you, is that you've got a long life ahead of you. You've got a lot of time. All right, we have this clock, we have mountains here, we have this kind of progression of climbing mountains, ascending, descending, and moving through time while being on an adventure, while doing climbing, while doing some sort of movement that was really necessary for you, group number one. So know here within progressions that this is a journey on which you will progress, you will continue to grow. Spiritual abundance is also something that can exponentially grow and start to explode the more that you do practices on a daily basis. I, for example, have truly been journaling on a daily basis on the life that I desire. I have also been meditating regularly. I have been working out regularly, which to me is a spiritual practice because it puts me in a zone where I'm not distracted by other things and I am in the moment, whether it's yoga, whether it's going on walks, whether it's going to the gym. My main MO is not to do a certain thing or a certain intensity. It's just to move my body every single day, at least once for a prolonged amount of time. If I feel tired, that could be 20 minutes. If I feel like I can go forever, that could be 2 hours. So it's just about finding a balance and finding a way that you can achieve your goals in a sense that it's fun. It doesn't matter for me if I go to the gym, if I go for a run, if I play tennis, or if I just go for a walk. So the thing here is consistency, and remember, progression happens over time with being consistent, with being disciplined, not by trying to be perfect, because when the goal is always to be perfect, you won't even attempt it, because what's the point? Because perfection is basically impossible to achieve anyways. So if your goal is always perfection, you will more often than not even begin to attempt things, and that is something that I want you to just forget about. That is not a helpful habit. That is not a habit that is going to do anything for you. Trust me, been there, done that, still battling it. And if there is something that I have learned the hard way and I can pass this message and this lesson on to you in an easier sense so you don't need to waste your time and energy to come to the epiphany, the moment of enlightenment, the realization, then of course I will do so. After all, I am your big sis from the internet. Hello, hi, that's what I'm here to do. So group number one, I will clear and cleanse the space, and we will continue on within your reading. All right, group number one, let's carry on. Let's see what letters that Spirit is guided to pass on to you and to give you. So we've got E, R, U, we've got I, and we've got A as well. Very interesting. So what we definitely already have here is airy, which leads me to get this intuitive Aries feeling. You, Aries. You and an Aries? Or are you an Aries? Okay, then we've got E as well as A. E, A, U. Let's add some more intuitive letters in. We've got U, I, E again. Okay, so we've got double E, double U, double A, double I as well. So these are very important letters that we need to look out for here within your life moving forward. So I want to carry on within your reading so we can figure out what else that you need to know. All right, so we have the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords shows us here I, Aries. The Page of Swords is trying to communicate, I am an Aries. That's what the Page of Swords is doing here. And they're trying to tell you that they're meant to be part of your life. Page of Swords is saying to you, I'm an Aries. I'm younger than you. I am the type of person who is going to always tell you the truth, who comes to you for advice. This is like a younger sister, younger brother type of vibe. So you're taking on this mentor kind of role with this person. And I can see here that that actually makes you more successful professionally as well, because you know how to deal with anyone, no matter what stage of life that they're in. Then we have the Page of Cups here. Page der Kelche for German, right? So here within the Page of Cups, this is someone younger than you who brings water sign energy. They have the letters E, U, and A within their name. And I want you to know here within the Page of Cups, this is someone that you're dealing with that you find a little more difficult to deal with than the Aries, because the Aries is very much led by doing, whereas this person with the water sign energy, the Page of Cups, is very emotional. And the emotionality is something that sometimes is difficult for you to deal with. But overall here within the Six of Cups, I just want you to know, being someone like yourself, a very fun, loving, caring type of person who just wants harmony and who really just thrives on forgiveness, who thrives on caring for others, who thrives on being there for others. I do see here that having more friendships and connections is something that is coming towards you. And as an adult, it may seem harder to make new connections, but I see that you are making really valuable new ones. It's like you've got this sisterhood, this very close connection. You are two polar opposites, as we have depicted here within the Six of Cups. And oh, we also have the Knight of Cups. We have so many people here. And the King of Batons, which is the King of Wands in the traditional decks. We have just people showing up for you. A lot of different individuals. Page of Cups, King of Batons, Knight of Cups, Page of Swords. So a big mixture of different people. You're joining someone's family. I see that with the Six of Cups is about joining, it's about family, it's also about sharing childhood stories and so on. Joining a new family, being close to a spouse's family, a partner's family, a best friend's family. You are joining into a new family. You are finding a connection with them. You're feeling really close to them. That's what I can see here. Also, within the Six of Cups, reigniting the closeness and the care within your own family, within your own birth family, okay? Reconnecting. And here we have head over heels. Okay, head over heels confirms for us that what Spirit wants to say to you is being head over heels in love. We have romance. Head over heels feeling love can be platonic. Let's not always kind of minimize everything to having to be romantic love. But I definitely see here that what we've got in head over heels is someone who brings a lot more connections into your life. Okay, so feeling really close and connected to a partner's family, and that relationship strengthening so much that you feel like you have more family, more people in your life that you're close to and that you can count on, that you can always rely on, group number one. So that's what I see here within head over heels for you, which actually is this way around. Okay, then we have the fennel, which shows us strength, and then the daffodil, which is about hope. So because you're the type of person who is always known to be the strong one, here we have 19, here we have 38. So 19 is half of 38, right? 19 multiplied by 2 gives us 38. So half strength and then 100% hope. So half of you is comprised of just strength. Half of you is comprised of also this Virgo energy that we have here. It's analytical. You can be a little bit demanding of other people because you want them to reach a certain level. So some of you just believes that that's the right thing to do, and you also believe in people and their ability, but you also run on a lot of hope. You run on a lot of positive outlook and a lot of just hoping for the best, which may sound funny, but it's actually a really positive thing, group number one, because it shows that you can believe in things ahead of time. You don't have to wait for something to come into your life in order to know that it can already be yours, whether that be a fulfilling relationship, material wealth, health, or just like the type of lifestyle that you desire. Group number one, this reading has been so long. What I'm going to do now is I am going to close the messages for YouTube right here because I don't want to make this video too crazy long, and I will put the extended version as we will continue on within this reading. I will add that to my Patreon. The link to my Patreon is below in the description box, so I will upload the extended version of this reading that is uncensored, that does have a little bit of extra info onto my Patreon. So if you are a diehard part of the Unicorn fam, join my Patreon, as there are already dozens of other pick a card readings on there that are just exclusive to Patreon. Both pick a card readings with extensions and also pick a card readings where the entire reading is only viewable on Patreon. So make sure that you check that out. If you love my readings, you know that that's going to be the space for you to be in. So my beautiful unicorn family here on YouTube, thank you so much for joining me, for being part of this reading up until this point. I hope that you enjoyed these messages and that you found them insightful. And as per usual, you guys know that I will always be uploading a ton of free content, free value, free readings onto my YouTube channel. So I will catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, group number two. Welcome to the only tarot reading that you will ever need. Now, you chose the Mystical Wisdom Oracle deck as well as the Amethyst Crystal. And in case this is the first time that you're here, my name's Vanessa Somuayina. I will be your reader for today. And I can't wait for us to figure out precisely what you need to hear. Now, this beautiful amethyst is actually a crystal that is said to protect you from any type of unwanted energies or evil eyes. And the amethyst also brings out your your intuition and psychic ability. So it helps you to kind of foresee things before they have transpired, and that way you can also protect yourself by listening to your gut feeling. So let's see what your guides have to say for you. First up, we've got dreams. So your guides want to first and foremost say to you to believe in your dreams, group number 2, especially if you've been told that you're a dreamer, you dream too big, or if anyone has ever told you that you would not be able to accomplish the dreams and desires that you have. Don't believe them, believe in your dreams, and also make sure that the last thing you think of before you go to bed at night is something that has to do with your dreams. Not worrying about the past, not worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow, but consciously deciding to create the life of your dreams that you see when you close your eyes and you think fondly of what is to come next. Here within memories, cherish memories of loved ones. Group number 2, I'm getting this feeling of past loved ones, past pets still weighing kind of heavily, and transmuting that heavy energy into a lighter type of energy bit by bit can be really helpful in your healing process and in the process of grief that I would say is never truly finished, right? It's like a lifelong continuation. You just kind of progress to different stages, and things just feel differently depending on how much time has passed and how much you have been able to process and heal. So what your guides are trying to say to you is that past loved ones, past pets are going to come to you in your dreams within a few days of you actually receiving this reading, as this is a timeless reading. Whenever it is that you're tuning into this pick a card reading video, that is the perfect time for you to receive your tarot reading, and I want you to know that this will be activated just after you've watched this reading, you've received it, and you will dream of loved ones, past pets that meant a lot to you. And I see here within letting go that your guides want to teach you that it is okay that things have changed in that connection. They're trying to teach you also to let go of pain and instead to focus on the fond memories. Cherish the memories of loved ones, cherish the memories that you have. Focus on creating more and new memories with people who are currently within your life that you can make new memories with. And also let go of anything that made you feel as though your dreams were too much or too big. Before you go to bed at night, tonight, group number 2, let go of the worries, let go of the overthinking, let go of the doubt, of the feeling of insecurity when you think about your dreams. All of those emotions, they're not necessary, nor will they even help. So if you want to actually take action in a helpful way, if you actually want to even overcome the worries that are currently plaguing you, the only solution is to believe in your dreams. Remember that. The only solution is to take inspired action. So you might as well focus on that rather than allowing for your energy to flow into a space that isn't really allowing you to have your Midas touch be active. Now, the Midas touch, in case you've never heard of this, and we also have master number 11, I just noticed that. Wow, group number 2. If you've ever heard that saying, that something someone touches turns to gold. So that is what the Midas touch is. When every time you touch something, every time you attempt something, it turns to gold. Actually, I want to centralize this card within your reading because I love this message for you, group number 2. The Midas touch is, in a great sense, also about believing in your abilities. Just think about it. Some recording artists that you really love, for example, they have to believe that they have the Midas touch in order to create that next hit that everyone's going to be listening to. If they feel unsure about whether they've got it, if they feel unsure about whether their art is that great, then that will reflect within what they're creating. That will reflect within their music. So in Midas touch, remind yourself here that it is imperative that you believe you have the Midas touch. And once you've done that, you've got everything aboard that you need for success. So in all aboard, I want you to know that we have this very mischievous kind of look. We have this vibe of you understanding that sometimes the most important ingredient to your success isn't actually like a very specific skill or a specific amount of money or having someone in your life that can help you. It's just feeling like you have the Midas touch, having this inner certainty and feeling that whatever you do, it's going to be fine and it's going to turn out just great. In all aboard, I do also see here memories on a train, memories on a plane, travel memories that are coming back up, and kind of letting go of wanting to recreate those exact memories, but instead remembering that life is here for you to continuously create memories, and now is the time for you to travel. Now is the time for you to go to new places and to make new memories that you dreamt of and that you hoped would be part of your life. I do also want to add some letters into your reading. So we have D, L, T, and F. Okay, so here within D, L, T, and F, I am getting this kind of Delta vibes, Delta Airlines, Florida, TD. We're getting this kind of very Floridian vibe. Let's see what else we have here. We have got D again. So D is an important letter within this. And then we have R and E. Dr. Ted. Dr. Ted in Florida. Dr. Ted. So a doctor, Ted, flight. We do have some sort of very interesting message and memory here that is very precise, something that's coming back up for you, some sort of doctor's visit, some sort of very, very specific, on a specific road, specific drive, in a specific area. Like the specificity of this is really stunning. Here within No Strings Attached, I do also see for you, group number 2, that there is something that you're seeing on social media. There's no strings attached. You are seeing the work of a doctor, and there's a concern, either health or something just physically, something just that has to do with a surgical or non-surgical procedure by choice, that you are kind of seeing that there is a specific doctor that is able to do this. You're wondering whether you want to go there. You're wondering if you're all aboard with this. And within F and L, we have Florida, Finland, a type of place that has F and L within its name. So don't be surprised if this comes up shortly for you. I know it seems very random, but I love when things are very specific, very random, and then they end up actually being accurate, and then you know that the reading was truly for you. So within Give It a Whirl, I just see that switching things up, that's what we need right now within your life, group number 2. Your guides feel as though you have been very docile, you have been calm, you have been a good girl, a good guy, just a good person for a long time, which is great. It's not that you're being called to not be a good person, it's just give it a whirl. Let's make things a little interesting. Let's change our approach to life, to relationships, to travel. Let's try something that we did not think was possible for us. In support system, I want you to know here that you have a bigger support system than you're aware of. Also in the spirit realm. That's why we've also got memories coming up here. And this just doesn't just have to mean past loved ones, is what I meant to say. Your support system can also be made up of people who are still very much in this physical realm, who are very much alive and well, but they're far away. So you're right now unable to make memories with them. You just have memories of the time that you spent together, fond ones, but they're still here. You can still call them, you can text them, you can email them, you can send them a letter. So I just want you to know here that when it comes to your support system, they're here for you regardless of what you're going through. And also if you need to travel somewhere, if you have this place that you're going to. They also have something with red here for you, and we do have a lot of red within your reading. Red, and then we've got TDFL. Let's add a few more letters into your reading, group number 2. Then we've got I and A. Okay, so red. Okay, so we have a red Fiat. That's what I'm getting here. A very specific color of a car and a model. And then we've got DL. So red Fiat driver's license, red Fiat, Delaware a specific place. Downtown London, red Fiat. We have a very, very specific sighting of you seeing a red Fiat, and that immediately telling you, this is how I can have my Midas touch back. So there's going to be this life-changing moment where you see this red Fiat and you feel so deeply connected to your guides, to spirit, to source, and you're going to know precisely why you received this reading, and also why you are on the path you're currently on, why things are happening the way that they are. So we have the Ace of Batons, but in reverse. Now, when this card shows up in reverse, holding this baton, you are definitely putting down any of your weapons. And the thing here, within no strings attached as well, is that if someone wants a situationship or wants a connection with you with no strings attached, you're not judging that, nor are you mad about it, group number 2. You're just like, okay, you have let go of any defensiveness. You don't feel like everybody needs to want to be with you forever. Not everybody needs to want to marry you, propose to you, be with you, start a family with you, do the 9 yards with you. You don't actually care. For you, it's more important that you find someone where that sensation is mutual. You are not really hung up on other people's validation and other people wanting you. Now, the Queen of Swords shows us that you have cut ties with that. You're very relaxed mentally as well. And why you're receiving this within your reading is that you can just lean back, wait till you see this red Fiat situation. And then you will know precisely what the next steps are that you need to take. Then you will have this moment of clarity, this moment of an epiphany, and you'll be like, oh, right, this is precisely what I need to do. How did I not think of this sooner? That's what I'm getting here within your reading so far, group number 2. So what I'm going to do now is I feel compelled to cleanse, clear the space. I will then be right back with you. You don't need to do anything, group number 2. Just continue to lean back, relax, and enjoy, and we'll delve even more deeply into your prediction. Welcome back, group number 2. So let's delve more deeply into your reading, because as promised, this is the only tarot reading that you will need right now, and this is a timeless reading, and I want to get into absolutely all of the nitty-gritty little details that there are to share with you. So first up, we've got the Divine Physician. This is Archangel Raphael. Now, this Archangel shows up when you are being called to pay close attention to your body. This Archangel shows up when your guides want you to focus on a healthy body rather than a body that looks a specific type of way. So of course, mainstream media and society has programmed us to feel like health is a certain look, and typically health is a slender looking body, which is not always the truth for everybody. Of course, morbid obesity, that is not healthy either, but we all have different optimal body frames. Some of us function really well when we have a little bit less weight on us. Some of us can't even think straight if we're not able to properly fuel our bodies. So remind yourself here that your divine physician is trying to tell you you are your beauty standard. You are the most gorgeous when your body actually functions to your advantage. You are the most beautiful when you can actually enjoy life, not when you're starving yourself or putting things inside of your body to look a certain way or gain a certain amount of weight that you don't actually want to do. Your inner voice is guiding you to listen to that inner calling when you're eating. So try to listen to your body, how it reacts to different foods and beverages. Listen to that inner voice that is speaking to you and trying to communicate to you what works well and what doesn't, what to stay away from, and what you can indulge in a little more. And depending on what you've been through in your relationship with food, that inner voice can sometimes be deceiving. It can sometimes make you feel constricted. If you have ever, disclaimer, dealt with an ED, then you know that that inner voice can sometimes also be almost like your worst enemy. But that is where your guides are now trying to tell you, look, you can turn your inner voice into a loving voice. You can send your divine physician, Archangel Raphael, in to help you banish any unhelpful thoughts, any thoughts of being in unhealthy patterns with your body, with your relationship with food in your body. And this is something that you can get through. And by just listening to how your body feels during every meal, what your mind is saying to you, you can learn so much about what makes you feel safe, what doesn't, and then you can take steps in the right direction. We've got opposition, so your guides aren't letting up. This is meant to be a very real, direct, and honest reading, as all of them are here on my channel. But of course, like, your guides are trying to say to you, your reading is going to have extra opposition in here that needs to be looked at, in the sense of, we aren't leaving out anything. We aren't going to downplay any of your feelings or your emotions or the things that you're going through or the severity of it. So do understand here that when you are remodeling and changing up your internal state and wiring, there will be opposition. The old you and those old demons are going to try to make their way back. They are going to try to keep you hooked, because staying in the pain that you know can sometimes feel less painful than trying something different or working through that pain or getting rid of that pain. So I just want to remind you of the fact that here within opposition, this is really all about you learning to overcome this type of vibe of feeling constantly drawn back into old patterns and old habits. And that is where you connect to planet Neptune. So planet Neptune right now is positioned in a way how your abilities to just overcome these, what they really are, I want to say these chemical reactions and chemical situations within your body. It is completely possible. If you can imagine it, you can do it. I want you to not write off your imagination as, well, just a vivid imagination. No, those are real visions and dreams that can lead to tangible, touchable realities if you allow them to. And you are more powerful than you've given yourself credit for. You do have more possibility in your life than you actually were able to see through up until this point. We also have Archangel Orion, as well as Loved in One Heaven. So let's talk about this group too. Thank you, loved ones in heaven, for drawing close at this time. That is what we've got within this card right here. As you can see, it's kind of like this prayer card, and it is a reminder to be thankful and grateful for all that was drawn into your life that has made your life easier, whether that's being able to go to a physician, having a roof over your head, having internet connection. Here within Archangel Orion, this is an archangel about manifesting miracles. So the real message that your guides want to come through for you right here, group number 2, is that you are able to manifest miracles, but you have to let go of the opposition and of the disbelief that this is something that is possible for you. Because some of us are not in a state where we don't believe in manifestations, or we don't believe that miracles are possible, but for some reason we think they're not possible for us. We think they're possible for everyone else but us. And that is precisely what Archangel Orion is trying to kind of draw you out of, to remind you that you are just as deserving, you are just as valid of receiving miracles as anyone else. And the Two of Pentacles shows that you're the kind of person that often overworks and under receives, and you do so not because you have to, but because somehow you always feel like you have to work yourself to the bone to deserve this little thing. Like you have to work yourself to the bone to deserve a little bit of financial stability. You have to work yourself to the bone to receive a little bit of commitment from this person. No, group number 2, you really don't need to. There are a lot of people who make a lot of money, who have beautiful relationships, who have functional marriages that are supportive, that are everything that they wanted, and it's not the hardest thing they've ever done. It didn't take hard work, sweat, and tears. Sure, every now and then it will, but not constantly, not where you feel as though you're about to burn out. And the Six of Swords is indicative of your mindset shifting as you focus more on examples of people who actually have a life that is in a balance that you desire. So in a balance that you desire, it's different, because balance, in my opinion, it's a myth. If you want to be really good at something, how can there be balance? Like if you want to be a professional athlete, of course, you're going to have to spend an ungodly amount of hours doing that athletic thing, right? You're going to have to spend an ungodly amount of hours playing tennis, running, playing basketball, whatever it is. So the same goes for being really great at manifesting, for example, being really great at the work that you do. Of course, you're going to have to spend a lot of time in that, but your balance is to put in the hard work, but also play hard, also take time to rest, to focus on other things in your life that you love, while of course the core of your life is centralized around your purpose. Now, your purpose might be to teach others, your purpose might be to be an athlete, to be a musician, to be a business person, to be a mother, to be the best possible kind of director that you can be of the company that you work in. And I see here again, Two of Pentacles. We already had this card show up twice. Balance, group number 2, 2, 2, 2. Group number 2, we've got the Two of Pentacles twice. This is a reiteration that balance doesn't have to look like anything. Okay, balance is whatever you make it. For an athlete, their life in balance looks different than for someone who works at an insurance. For a musician, balance looks different than it does for someone who is an entrepreneur. You make your balance. Your balance is valid and it's supposed to serve you. So when people tell you, yeah, but you need balance, you need this, you need that, but you really love the craft that you do, then it's not about just completely pulling back from it. It's about finding balance in a way that you can still achieve what you want to achieve in the craft that you love, but you do so in a more informed and organized manner. That's what I see here in the 2, the High Priestess. The High Priestess corresponds to the number 2. Oh my goodness, group number 2. 2, 2, 2. It's showing up, the angel number of 2. 2 in numerology is the number of working together, of finding balance, of duality, of integrating lightness, darkness, but also partnerships, things going hand in hand, 2 people, not more. The High Priestess also shows us here, educating yourself, growing. The High Priestess is about a time of feminine energy and reflection. And within this feminine energy and reflection, you will find that, okay, things become really clear when it comes to why you have been holding yourself back, the ways in which you have been underestimating your abilities, and ways in which you have been trying to search for balance the way you've seen it on TV, on Instagram, on YouTube, but it's not your balance. Your balance is maybe not that girl 5 a.m. morning routine. That might not be balance for you at this point in your life, and this is completely fine, because what you want is a type of routine and a type of lifestyle that is actually achievable, that you can do in the long term, that is something you can keep up with. Otherwise, you will just fall back even more deeply into patterns you don't want to fall into, and then your entire drive and motivation will be really difficult for you to regain. And the thing is, like, you have learned from that. You're starting to make your standard of beauty and how you look, how you feel the healthiest. That is what you're making the beauty standard in your mind and for yourself. You're programming the fact that your balance looks different than her balance, his balance, their balance. That's fine. That doesn't make yours any less important, doesn't make it any less great. It's just your way. And remind yourself, a lot of pioneers in this world did things their way in order to achieve something that was different from what the masses has done. And even if you don't want to do that, if you just want to live a very relaxed life, you don't feel the need to be out there, to have any type of notoriety, again, your balance will look different than someone who does want notoriety. And we are all being called to follow our balance, our way of achieving success, rather than feeling like we have to follow this rigid template that has been circulating around the internet that, well, it doesn't work for everybody because we all have different goals, we all have different preferences. This is not a one size fits all, and Spirit is trying to remind you of that, and to remind you that you can take things that fit your size, but you don't have to take everything. You can take aspects that work for you, but never feel like you have to conform to something that you can just tell with your inner voice is just a big no for you and is just not working for your body and for your psyche right now. Also, flexibility, always feeling free to adjust, to adhere to where you are in life and what you're going through, never feel guilty for that. Never feel like you're a fraud for changing your mind or you're an imposter. That is preposterous, first and foremost. And second of all, that is how people keep you trapped, confined, and in a space where they feel comfortable seeing you, even though you're not comfortable in there. So put yourself first, group number 2. That's what we're getting here. Do things for your comfortability, not for others. Follow your inner voice. So group 2, I feel compelled to cleanse and clear the space, and then I'll be right back with you to delve even more deeply into your reading. So just hold on tight, and we will figure out what additional messages that you need to receive right now. All right, group number 2, let's delve a little more deeply into your reading. For some reason, I feel compelled for us to use our little board, our little divination board, and see what's coming towards us. So for one, I'm going to lay 2 cards out here for you. And then we are also going to use our astro dice to receive more information on what you need to hear. Okay, so we've got the number 1 right here that we rolled. Then let's see what else we're going to get. We also have the number 9. So number 1 and 9, life path number. Okay, number 1, the leader, the doer who wants to do everything for themselves, by themselves. Number 9 is the type of person who wants things to happen for the greater good. This is more of a philanthropic energy, more of a big thinker kind of vibe. Then we have the ritual in the sweet corn, where we've got the number 10. And then here within duality, we've got the banana number 27, which divided by 9, we receive the number 3, a number of cooperating with other people. And then here within the ritual, we've got the number 10. Obviously, 1 plus 9 equals 10. So regardless of whether you are a life path number 1 or 9, what we are being drawn towards here is to combine these different positive aspects of life path 1 and 9 together in order to create a type of lifestyle that we feel we can live for the long term. So for 1, being very driven, and then number 9, having big dreams, big visions, and not being afraid to incorporate others, to incorporate teamwork. That's where we've got duality. So the banana is all about, yes, wanting to accomplish big things, having big dreams, but also not being afraid to use other people's help to get there and their expertise, read, listen to podcasts, all of these types of things. So let's see what else that we're going to get here. Okay, so within these charms, within free will and not known, we received the flamingo charm. Here we received the charm of basically like 2 helping hands tied together. Okay, and here we have got the tree pose. This is a yoga asana. So calmness. And I want to just lift the board up so you can see precisely what fell on the board. So here we have these intertwined, it's almost like a pinky promise. So a promise of stability. That's one thing you need to hear. Okay, you need a promise of stability. I see that you like freedom, but you also want stability from those closest to you. Okay, then we have the sun. And here we have some coral or tree charm. So the sun is on a hot yes. All right. The sun, by the way, rules Leo. So Leo being ruled by the sun is a very outgoing type of sign. But of course, the sun on a hot yes is also an indication that more vitamin D will make you feel better. It will make you feel more elevated. It will have you be your best self. Group 2. So if you have been wanting to go somewhere where there's amazing weather, where you can fill up on vitamin D, that is what we've got here for you. Okay, filling up on vitamin D is important for you to not fall into some seasonal depression or just kind of feel down and out. So remind yourself here within the sun and yes, that if you can take that trip, if you can go to that warm place, if you can even just tan outside and spend a little bit of time within the sun, that is going to be really therapeutic and very healthy for you at this point of your existence. Another thing here within the sweet corn, we have the symbol of Leo. We spoke about how Leo is ruled by the sun. Everything ties together beautifully. And then the Two of Swords. The number 2 showed up in the past for you. We've got duality for the Two of Swords. Then we have duality here within the banana as well. And the Two of Swords is about discerning what works for you and what doesn't. Shadow work, that's a message I'm getting for you, group number 2. If you feel as though going to therapy is not working for you right now, or doing shadow work is too heavy, don't force yourself. Everyone is saying to heal, to do this, to do that. Sometimes you also just need to rest, you just need to take a nap, and you do need to procrastinate the healing a little bit. Here within the Ace of Swords reverse, I'm getting this message that you want to start, you want to do things, but yeah, you're tired, you're exhausted. You're not always in the headspace where you're ready and willing and wanting to take on a huge new mental project. It can be a lot, and we're not going to force you to do so. Group number 2, we are not going to make you feel like you must right now. And I hope that you don't do that yourself either, because you don't have to. Don't force yourself. There's no race that's going on, okay? There's no timeline for your growth, for your healing. The Page of Coins here shows us that what's really important for you actually is to take on the role of learning, to take on the role of being okay with starting something new. When it comes to your career, be okay with starting something that is in the unknown. Okay, so trying something entrepreneurial, trying something different, trying something that you maybe didn't have the confidence to do before. Right now, that is the better place for you to start working on change. Right now, really deep shadow work, really deep internal turnovers. You've done it, and we need to let settle some of the things you've achieved. Okay, let's not overwork ourselves. The Four of Swords shows us here that actually when it comes to life, now is the time to strengthen friendships and relationships, because I do see a little bit of the sense of I'm a little lonely. I'm not sure if everyone who I'm with is on the same page as I am. I kind of want to find my soul tribe. I want to be with people who get it. That's what I'm getting here in the Four of Swords and the Page of Coins. And sometimes going to even meetups, for example, where people with the same type of mindset are going to be, and the same type of hobbies and aspirations and goals. That is one thing that I see more of for you. More that is just going to serve you as a whole. So I also want to add a few charms into your reading for you. Okay, so here within this charm, we've got Jera. Jera is the charm of harvesting, of peace, of rewards. I do just also want you to know here that when it comes to having fun, peace, just actually harvesting what you've worked hard for, that's one thing that I can see here. You've made a promise to yourself to work hard, to do a certain amount of things in your life. You've already accomplished a lot, and at some point, like, we also need to harvest, group number 2. I'm just getting this sense from your reading. The harvesting is not something that you're good at just yet. You're good at doing the work, you're good at the output, but what about the harvesting, the securing, the building for yourself in your future? That's where I can see that you are a very selfless person. So that adds to making it sometimes challenging to harvest and to take. But remind yourself, you're not a taker by nature, you are a giver. But even givers need to take, because in this world, it is give and take. You need to take to survive, to sustain life. So don't feel weird about it. Don't feel like, oh, I'm taking too much. You're taking just the right amount. Group number 2, you are exactly who you need to be, where you need to be. And it is about time that you stop judging yourself for also having needs and wants. There are a lot of amazing people who we don't even know how much money they spend, how many homes that they own, what kind of cars that they drive, just all of the luxuries that they give themselves. You don't have to tell other people either if it makes you feel weird, or if you're worried people will judge you for wanting what you want, or taking a certain amount, or having like luxuries that you are giving to yourself, whether it's a massage, a facial, a new car, living in a nicer place, like nicer clothes, whatever it may be. Just remind yourself it doesn't make you a materialistic person. We live in a world where materials are important. Even in the animal kingdom, materials matter. Literally, like birds built their nests out of materials in which they raise their chicks. And for us, materials are important too. We collect them, we wear them, we build our shelter with it, and there's nothing wrong with incorporating that and still being a spiritual person. There's nothing wrong with wanting things and harvesting and allowing riches, money, resources to come to you that you have earned, because if you don't do it, someone else is just going to take it. Okay, we do live in a dog-eat-dog world, and it is really important for you to remind yourself, like, you're not harming anybody, you're just taking what's rightfully yours, and you are allowed to enjoy this life. It is actually not just your birthright, you must, okay? I am not allowing you to move on from this reading feeling as though, oh, well, you know, maybe whatever. No, we are taking what we've earned. We are enjoying life. That is your mission. That is your goal. That is your purpose, to enjoy this existence. And when you feel doubt, remember, your mother did not carry you for 9 months for you to just live this life in a way that you're not even enjoying it. All right? And you too, if you're thinking of having kids, if you're capable of having kids, you will want them to live life. You are not carrying them for 9 months, raising them, making them grow from this little seed into a full-blown human, for them to not live life to their fullest, for them to not enjoy life and be happy in life. So you must. It is your job. And if you can't find a way to make sure that you do it for yourself, do it for those around you, group number 2, until it becomes natural and you start to focus on your birthright of happiness and thriving for yourself as well. So group number 2, I am going to clear and cleanse the space, and then I'll be right back to guide you even more deeply into your reading. Welcome back, group number 2. Let's delve even more deeply into your reading, shall we? I hope that you're doing well, that you're enjoying this super detailed, super in-depth reading, because you guys know I like to take my time with providing you with all the messages that you need to hear. So let's see what else that is here for you in your tarot reading today. So first up, we have the Knave of Wands. Okay, so a fire sign that is of importance. They've got tattoos on their arms or hands, even their upper body up to their neck, blue piercing eyes, and hair that is like gelled back. Okay, the Knave of Wands is someone who knows what they want, and when they see it, they go for it. Very strong masculine features. And then here within the Seven of Swords, your guides are trying to say to you that this person is usually a player. This person is usually not very serious about relationships. And here within the Knave of Coins, I see that we have someone who has a little bit less of a bad boy kind of look and vibe. And both of these individuals, usually they're just not really for relationships, or they haven't had a very serious one in a long time. The Knave of Coins is someone who is a bit more timid, a bit more kind of docile, a bit more calm, a little bit more centered than the Knave of Wands, who is more spontaneous and more all over the place. And then we have the Seven of Wands. So Seven of Swords, Seven of Wands, the number 7 is a number of introspection. And I can see here that after a period of introspection follows like this burst of trying to impress you. So group number 2, there are these two people, these two contestants, if you will, that are interested in you. And I also see here within the Six of Wands that they feel like you're the type of person who won't be single for super long. They feel as though you are of great value when it comes to love. And here with the Six of Wands and the Empress, they want a little piece of that cake. So when you're doing well, when you're thriving, you're shining, you're looking put together, just overall, your life is looking really good from the outside, they're going to want to come in. They're going to want to make you a part of their existence too. And the Empress is about fertility. This is motherly type of energy. This is the type of energy of someone who knows what they want and who, in a sense, puts love and values first. So you don't put, for example, someone's money, someone's status as the top priority for you. It's really values and what you can build together. And I do see here that they are aware of this and they feel like they have to act differently around you, because regardless of what they own, what they have, what kind of material things they may be able to provide, they're going to have to do more than that. So the Empress definitely shows here that you are giving these two people a run for their money. And the Octopus shows us here that that's actually probably the smartest way to date and to do things, whether you are already in a committed relationship or you're currently single as a Pringle, group 2. Just making sure that you're being wise, smart, and not allowing any behavior that you don't want from the beginning. You're not compromising what you desire from the start. So you won't have to compromise throughout an entire relationship, because let me tell you, when you lower those standards in order to accommodate someone, in order for someone to be able to meet them, because otherwise they couldn't, which means otherwise they couldn't be in a relationship with you or anywhere close to you, you are then teaching them that that is the standard that is okay. They will never level up. They will always stay on that and even below. So if you are lowering your standard to a degree that you intuitively with your inner voice know is not the standard that you want to continue long term in a relationship, don't do it ever. Don't do it at the beginning. Don't do it in the middle. Don't do it as you feel like the end is nearing. That is just going to result in catastrophe, and you didn't work so hard all your life to get to this point to lower your standards for someone who is too lazy or incapable to simply raise theirs to meet you higher up. Now here within the honeybee, the message we're receiving is to let compassion and forgiveness be your top priority in this situation. So of course, be compassionate, have forgiveness for people who make mistakes, but compassion and forgiveness doesn't mean that they're going to be your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, your person. Having compassion and forgiveness is being compassionate and forgiving and then saying, okay, that's who you are. It is not my job to tell you whether that's good or bad. It is not my job to deal with that. And at the same time, it's like, now I know and I can love you from afar. I don't need to put my life and my existence onto the level that you want to provide if that's not what I feel like I deserve. So the chameleon is about staying in the background, adapting to the situation, slowly letting it fizzle out, kind of being cool, kind, but also if someone is romantically, okay, if someone is just not on the level that you want them to be, don't stick around for too long, group number 2. Do not stick around to fall in love, to become attached and everything like that. That's not a good idea. Okay, let's just not do that. Let's not allow that. The Roadrunner shows here that until you are really tied down, okay? So this is for all of you who are not married. This is for all of you who are not in a relationship where they're happily married. Because if you're married and not happy about it, this message is also for you. And that is to not take anything too seriously at this point, because you know it is not for you in the long term. Don't feel as though you have done something wrong, or in a sense you've let anyone down. Don't feel defeat. Don't think as though something is wrong with the situation. A lot of people settle for relationships and situationships that they're not happy in and where they deserve a lot better. Don't let that be you. Take the fact that you have maybe accepted less or crumbs with a little bit of humor, because that will let you get out of the situation faster. Let me give you guys a little personal example. When I realized that, yeah, I was in fact at many points in the past, I have exhibited pick-me behavior, I was mortified. I thought, this can't be me. I mean, I thought it was impossible. I mean, I am me. I am Vanessa Somuayina. Like, there's no way that I've done this. But yeah, looking back and analyzing, I had exhibited pick-me behaviors with people that I was head over heels obsessed with and in love with, and it had to stop. Because when you do that, you just compromise yourself. They don't respect you, and that's not where you want to be long term. So here we have the Fool in German, danach. All of my German-speaking beautiful little unicorns. Ich liebe euch. Danke, dass ihr da seid. Ich schätze euch unendlich viel. So here within the Fool, this is about not being afraid to start a new journey, okay? And having fun with the attention that you're getting here from these two people. But if you don't feel like they're living up to par, these two individuals that are into you, then just don't do it, okay? Like, just know it is fun, flirtation. If you are in a committed relationship that you're more or less happy in, just also remember it's okay to flirt a little bit. Like, as long as you're not swapping numbers and talking to anyone long term and doing something that you would be so uncomfortable to do behind your partner's back, you're like, please don't sweat it, okay? And here within the moon, what shows up is that what comes next for you are a lot of truths coming forth within your dreams. So I see that you will pre-see these individuals within your dreams. So there will be like unknown people showing up within your dreams, and actually these are potential romantic matches. And they will show up whether you're in a relationship or you're single. You will have them like pre-show up within your dreams and then come into your life quite literally. So at this point, group number 2, our reading has been really long, so I am going to end this portion of the reading right here. I will add the extension that I will get into now onto my Patreon page, so you guys can watch the extended version of this reading on there. We'll figure out precisely when these individuals are coming into your life. So for all of my beautiful subscribers here on YouTube, my beautiful little unicorns, I hope that you enjoyed this very long, detailed tarot reading and prediction. Let me know below in the comment section. I love to hear from you guys, and you guys know I will always be uploading a ton of videos here on YouTube, but because I don't want it to be overkill and too long, as already mentioned, I will finish out this reading on Patreon. So the link to that is below in the description box. If you love this reading and you want to see the extension as well as dozens of other videos on my Patreon that are exclusive to Patreon, then make sure that you check that out, because if you love my predictions, you will love how much more just uncensored that we can be over there. So group 2, thank you so much for being here, for spending this divine time and space with me. Also, don't forget to download that free astrology PDF with each sign's prediction on there and each sign's messages. So that is linked below as well. And I can't wait to catch you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, my beautiful souls of group number 3. Welcome to the only tarot card reading that you will ever need. Now, this is a beautiful celestite crystal, as well as the spirit animal oracle deck, which you chose. And these are going to help guide us into your reading. But of course, as you guys know, I use tarot and oracle decks. I mix them all up so that we get a precise reading for you. So this is the beautiful baby blue celestite. Isn't it just gorgeous, group number 3? So I can see why you chose it, and subconsciously you may have felt very much drawn to its relaxing, healing, and very much like calming properties that this stone possesses. So let's see precisely what your reading is going to say about you and your future, group number 3, and everything that you need to hear. So let's see what's going to come up for you. I have selected 2 cards. Let's do a third one, which we will unravel now, which is the Bobcat Spirit. So if you like cats, big cats, small cats, lions, and so on, the Bobcat Spirit is the perfect in-between, and it's all about life being a mystery. The Bobcat Spirit also corresponds to the number 8, which is the number of infinite possibility, abundance, and prosperity. And when this card shows up, your guides are trying to say to you to be okay with the fact that certain things will always be a mystery within life, but we'll uncover as many as we possibly can at this point. So within the turtle spirit, remember, slow and steady wins the race. Group 3, if you have been rushing, if you have been trying to get as many things as possible done, you are multitasking, you are doing a million things at once, you're reading multiple books at once, you're trying out multiple ways to be more productive, you're trying different types of diets, I want you to know here in the turtle spirit to just take it slow. All right, we've got time. As long as you're actually doing something steadily, you will see results in due course, but the thing is, consistency. That is one thing that the turtle spirit is trying to bring to you. Even if you have to cross an entire ocean as a turtle, you can do it just as a whale can or a shark, but slowly and steadily. It's just a different pace, but I want you to know that you're not always meant to be running at 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's very admirable that you try to do as much as you can always, and you try to always put your best foot forward, but also remember, at what price does that come? And is it sometimes also okay to just take things slowly and allow for the things you're not getting to sort themselves, as we have here in the Bobcat spirit? Some things can just remain a mystery as to how they will sort themselves, because in the end, everything will work out. The groundhog spirit is telling you it's time to let go. Group number 3, what's going on here? There's something you're holding on to that has been hurting your heart. Do you know what that is, group number 3? Because if you do, feel free to share in the comment section. That way myself and the unicorn family can support you, read your comment, and send you some encouraging comments back. But the groundhog spirit is about letting go of a situation that just doesn't value your heart and your soul. And sometimes it can be hard to see and even try to comprehend how certain people behave, how certain people deal with situations in such a brutal and sometimes really harsh way, and you ask yourself how that's even possible. Well, group number 3, you have to remember, not everybody has your heart or my heart. Not everybody feels the same way about values and morals. Not everybody knows precisely how to be a kind person, how to be giving, how to be generous without asking for something in return. Not everybody has the kindness that you were born with, and I want you to let go when you feel like kindness is taken for granted. I want you to know that your guides are telling you to let go, to let it be a mystery what would have been with that person that didn't fully appreciate you. Next up here within the hawk spirit, allow spirit to be your guide. Allow for your intuition to guide you to where you're appreciated and not just tolerated. Now, the hawk spirit is also indicative of seeing things from a higher perspective. So if you look at your life from a third-person perspective, as though you are looking into your best friend's life, or you're looking into the life of a stranger, how would you feel? Would you say to yourself to slow down, to take it easy, all will be fine? Would you say to yourself to leave those friends or that situationship alone because clearly you're just not being respected and valued? What would you say? What advice would you give your younger, or shall I say smaller self, if you're looking at yourself from a way higher perspective? So that is what Spirit is trying to tell you to use as a guide, because often you already have the answers within you. And remember, letting go isn't about giving up or having less. Letting go is about remembering in the buffalo spirit, the abundant universe will provide, because the universe is abundant, life is abundant. And the thing is, when you let go, there's more abundance just waiting at the door. The thing is, you must believe it, you must feel it, you must sense it, you must intuitively have this innate certainty within you that yes, if you let one thing go, the next thing will flow right into your life, right into your lap, right into your existence. You don't need anyone or anything to work seamlessly or to work precisely how you wish for them to work for your life to turn out well. Your life is going to turn out well anyways because it is abundant. And one thing will always be replaced by something better. So never feel as though you're losing something or anything as a loss. You are simply leveling up. You're making space for something better. Open your heart. Archangel Samuel is trying to tell you that there are some barriers around your heart right now. And openness is important. Openness is one of the most important things when you're trying to date or in love. Openness is very important in business as well, in order to make new connections, to network, and also to see new opportunities that you otherwise would have just written off completely. And openness is also an important ingredient for your spiritual abundance. Thank your angels for giving you this infinite abundance, because group number 3, I do see that you are underestimating just how many wonderful experiences that you will be able to have within this lifetime, and you're kind of seeing your life on a really small scale. Whereas when you look at it from the higher perspective, you will see so many other opportunities and so many ways for you to make more money, so many ways for you to meet the right people, so many ways for you to be healthy, to have your dream body, your dream existence. But you have to step out of your current shoes and current perspective. You have to learn to let that go. You have to learn to also truly believe in your soul that the universe is abundant and that it will provide, because your guides and energy, all of this doesn't lie. I want you to know that energetically speaking, if you are in an energy of feeling like there is lack or feeling like there's scarcity, in an energy of fear, that is definitely something that your guides can tell is happening, and it is going to attract more to be worried about. So you have to actually believe that life is abundant and that there's more than you could even want for, and that's when we will attract precisely what we want. The pansy communicates attraction, but also the sign of Libra. We've got the number 34 in here too. So the pansy being connected to Libra and 34, we have something tipping the scale, something that is just each day between 3 and 4 o'clock, there's a little bit of like a tipping point for you. And you are either feeling very victorious, as we have here in the nasturtium, you're feeling great, you're feeling victorious if those hours of the day go well. We also have master number 44. You're feeling balanced, you're feeling safe. However, if you get bad news between 3 and 4 p.m., that's when you feel really volatile, and that's when things feel bleak. So between 3 and 4 p.m. for the next couple weeks, try to just put your phone into flight mode. Try to just stay away from receiving any big news, because that is when you're, in a sense, pretty vulnerable, feeling a little volatile. That is when your emotions tend to sway and kind of go in all directions. So stabilize between 3 and 4, do a meditation, turn off your phone, and allow yourself to just know the moments of each day in which cyclically you're a little bit more vulnerable or a little bit more open to disruption. So knowing yourself is really knowing how to do life, and that's what we'll learn more of within this reading. So group number 3, I'm going to clear and cleanse the space, and then I'll be right back with you so we can delve even more deeply into your prediction, because this is just the beginning, you guys. I have so many more juicy and groundbreaking details for you. Welcome back, my gorgeous souls of group number 3. So let's move a little further into your reading, shall we, to see what else that you need to hear right now when it comes to your psychic reading. So first up, we have the Two of Blades, or shall I say next up, and then we've also got the Ace of Pentacles. Now let me explain to you precisely what this means. The Two of Blades is the Two of Swords in the traditional tarot. Here in the Dark Heart Tarot deck, I called this the Suit of Blades. And the Suit of Blades corresponds to the element of air. So air has to do with your mental realm. It has to do with everything that goes on around communication. And in the Two of Blades, as you can see here, we've got a blindfolded person. We've got someone who has two blades, two choices. They're blindfolded. We've got a crescent moon above her head. And this shows that you will have to make decisions not based on what you see or what you hear, as this blindfold is also covering the ear region, but how you feel. You have to go with your senses. You have to go with what feels intuitively like it will be right. And with the Ace of Pentacles, the place that needs this kind of intuitive work right now, this kind of intuitive handling of situations, is the area of your life that has to do with your finances. That is the area of your life that has to do with your career, with business ventures you're looking into. What is really important is that you listen to your gut feeling. Don't go according to what people are saying or telling you. Don't go according to what you think is glittery and gold, because not everything that glitters is in fact gold. And also a lot of times there is plenty of noise in the world, plenty of noise when it comes to business, plenty of noise when it comes to money, and that can take away your confidence, which isn't necessary, group number 3, because Honestly speaking, there are so many different ways to make money, to start a business, to feel abundant when it comes to your health, your time, your well-being. You don't have to listen to this one guru or this one advisor or do it this one way that you heard your parent or a friend of your parent say was the only way to do it. They don't always know everything. I mean, nobody knows everything. So remind yourself here within the Ace of Blades that sometimes you're giving people too much credit. Meanwhile, you're getting no credit from yourself. And that's where you have to learn to level up mentally what kind of imagery that you have of yourself. Level up how much you respect yourself, how much you trust yourself, how much you trust that your opinion or your knowledge base is just as valid as someone else's. And it doesn't matter whether they are a lawyer, a teacher, or an accountant. They still make mistakes. They still don't know everything. They're still only human, and they may still only be very fluent and literate within their area of expertise, and you have your areas of expertise. And in the Six of Crystals, you are being given the message that when you stand strong, when you show that you won't be held back, when you show that nothing is going to stop you, that you believe in yourself, you're going to keep trying, you're going to keep grinding, and you're going to keep putting one foot in front of the other. That is when you all of a sudden will also start to realize, like, oh my goodness, actually what we have here is a lot of opportunity for you to be wildly successful, way more successful than you ever thought possible, as soon as you also just tune out the fear and the noise from other people, because that is a distraction. The Four of Crystals shows us here that we have a completion of 4 seasons, of 4 different cycles, and that creates stability. The number 4 is a number of solid grounds and foundations. So know that within a year from you receiving this reading, everything is going to change. You're going to have complete solid ground under your feet. So if you're currently in debt, for example, know here in the Four of Crystals that creating stability, getting out of it, actually starting on and executing a payment plan, doing it, like not allowing things to continue building. That's what we've got here in the Four of Crystals. If you would like more financial abundance, you want overflow. Know here in the Four of Crystals that a year from now, you will have created a steady stream of overflow, group number 3. And here within the Turkey spirit, you will start to learn how to receive with gratitude and grace, because you also give with gratitude and grace. When you give, you don't expect things in return. That's because you are a real giver, a true giver. You're not somebody who just gives in order to receive. No, in the Turkey spirit, you are the type of person who gives because you want to, because you understand that in order to give, it is so important to also do it wholeheartedly and to do it from a place of actual sincerity. Here within the Beaver spirit, I see you laying the solid foundation being reiterated by your guides. We spoke about the Four of Crystals, now we've got the Beaver spirit. So the thing with you is that once you lay that solid foundation, it really does change your environment. So once you make up your mind to do something, you just do it. There is no way to stop you. There's no way to get in the way of you. So here, I want you to know that the beaver also, when it creates these dams, when it creates these new ecosystems and environments, it really does change living habitats, not just for the beaver, but also for other animals. And it creates new habitats too. So the more that you create solid foundations within your life, the more that will also touch and impact people really close to you. It could even be your children, right? It can even be your parents, your siblings, them seeing how you're doing all of this. And for the next little bit in home body, I see that a lot of your work will be done from the comfort of your own home. Group number 3, you will not be feeling like going out all the time. You're not going to feel like you constantly want to be socializing. You're really more in this energy of being a home body and enjoying doing things from the comfort of your zone. And here within Make-A-Wish, I want you to know that your spirits and your guides are trying to say to you that it's time to set your sights higher on your next dreams, your next wishes, your next aspirations. So right now you're living, you've got internet access, you've got a device on which you're watching this reading on, you've got food, you've probably got shelter as well. Now it's time to make a wish for something that you feel is unnecessary or a little bit outlandish, something that you think is bigger than where you're actually going to get. Because the thing is, if your dreams and your wishes don't scare you, they're probably still too small. You're probably still in a space where you are actually unaware of how great you really are. And within loved one in heaven, I can see here that there are a lot of people who are rooting for you within the heavens, a lot of people who have passed on to a different type of, shall we say, a different type of constellation, a different type of realm, really. So past loved ones, past pets, rooting for you, loving you from the heavens, and drawing you close at this time, telling you to dream big, to remind you there is only this one lifetime, and the worst thing that can happen is that you don't lean into your dreams. Now, within Archangel Gabriel, this is an archangel that is wishing for you to speak your truth. Remember that if you can still get up, you can still learn to run. You can still learn to get to that next stage. If you can breathe, then you can still succeed. Thank you, Gabriel, for helping me to speak with integrity. That is the mantra that we've got here within Archangel Gabriel. And sometimes you also just got to defend yourself. I see you writing some emails from home to people who are trying to intimidate you or trying to make you feel as though they're in the right, even though they're absolutely not. And here within Archangel Gabriel, it is really clear that you're not going to allow that to happen. You're not with it. You don't want to deal with that, and you're not going to deal with that. You're going to speak up for yourself and protect yourself, your assets that you spend so much time accumulating, and also everything that you stand for. You're not a pushover, and you're not going to let someone to just corner you like that. So group number 3, I see a lot of you just growing in strength, and a lot of you speaking your truth and not allowing bullies. And there are a lot of adult bullies. And what's worse with adult bullies is like, then it's about things such as money, then it's about assets, then it's about bigger things than just little fights on the playground, or however we'd like to call it. But group 3, that's why you have to protect yourself from adult bullies, because some of them never change. Some of them, even as adults, they think they can get their way by being bullies. And we got to set them straight, group number 3. And you speaking with integrity, speaking your truth, and not being afraid to also inform yourself of your rights, what you're able to do, and ways in which you know that you are in the right. That is one thing that your guides want you to back yourself up with. Never feel as though someone has the upper hand, or someone is cornering you, or somebody is making you feel small. Always remember, there's so many resources out here, and so many people also who will give you advice and words of encouragement and wisdom for free. You have internet access. Google the things you need to Google, so that naysayers, bullies, all of these kind of low vibrational individuals don't get in the way of your pursuit of your wishes, your dreams, and you laying your solid foundation for yourself, group number 3. So I feel compelled to clear and cleanse the space. I'll be right back with you so we can delve even more deeply into your reading. You don't need to do a thing, group number 3. Just hold on tight, relax, and I'll be right back with you. Welcome back, group number 3. Time for us to delve a little more deeply into your reading. So I am now going to use our charms with our divination board right here. So let's see what we will receive. Okay, so we have the peace sign as well as the lotus that fell onto the field of Sunday. The peace sign is not on our divination board. And then here we also have this anchor on Tuesday, as well as the sea star on July. So let's do the very fun news for July. We've got a vacation here for July. That is a great time for you to go to the ocean, to go somewhere where there are actual sea stars. And I also just want you to know here that Tuesday is a great time for you to anchor into your spaces and feeling really safe and doing things that make you feel rooted. So that could be a yoga practice. That could be, for example, just relaxing, going to bed really early, doing self-care. And here within Saturday and the lotus, I do also see that for you, A lot of growth and blooming happens on Saturdays. That's like your go-to day, group number 3, and that is a day on which you can actually find that you thrive and that you're not so worried about everything that you usually deal with during the week. We also have the watermelon for you. The watermelon corresponds to fertility. If we can like add an adjective that describes the watermelon, that's what it would be. Juicy, watery, and full of seeds. That's what we've got here. And the sweet corn, which is representative of a ritual. So some sort of fertility rituals, some sort of rituals that keep you young as well, because fertility is often and in many cultures associated with youth, as obviously when you reach a certain age, fertility is something that drops. So it is very much connected to youthfulness, to good health. And I do see here that your guides are trying to say to you, okay, Tuesday is the day to do something for your health and for your youthfulness, to anchor into your space, whereas Saturday is the day to blossom, to bloom, to kind of just like grow on an internal level in a spiritual sense, so from the inside out. And July is like your vacation month. So within the tower, let's also talk about what kind of destructive forces that we're trying to avoid here within your life moving forward, as the tower can represent things not going your way or things falling apart. And that's not to scare you, group number 3, but you guys know I am a very honest and direct tarot reader, and I would rather you know everything and be able to avoid unpleasant situations than just say nothing. So here within the Fool and the Tower, this is actually a really great sign, as the Tower does show things falling apart or having to start something afresh. So think, for example, a Word document that just crashes and you have to start writing again from zero. How annoying, I know, right? Group number 3. But think of it that way, but within the Fool, with the new beginning also comes the new possibility for a masterpiece that you're actually really happy with and that you feel is even better than what you did before. So it is important that when that happens, when there's some sort of setback, or when you feel like, oh, now I have to start something from zero again, that you don't hold on to what was in the past, that you don't hold on to the previous version and you think, well, I'm not sure if it's going to be any better than what I did before, if it's actually going to be something that is nicer than what I ever produced in the past. No, it is time for you to believe in the fact that every time you do something, you get a little bit better, and every time you put it out there, it can be just that extra bit improved that has more people feel connected to it, that will reach more people, that will make a change in your life when it comes to your satisfaction of your work, but also your finances. Here within the Hierophant, I can see that what comes next for you actually is stability. What comes next for you in the Hierophant is that things that were already built on a wobbly foundation, I see here with the Tower, that is going to fall apart. Like, that's not going to continue. That's going to be done. So anything that's built on unstable foundations, I just want you to know that once that actually falls apart, it's almost like taking a deep breath in. It's almost like being so happy that it's finally over, and then not having to deal with it anymore, any longer. And that's awesome, group number 3. Sometimes in the moment, we feel like we are losing the ground beneath our feet, but remind yourself, if something was built on an unstable foundation to begin with, there's no point in trying to continue to glue it together. It's never going to be that thing that was built on solid concrete. So the sooner we let go of it, the less time, energy, and money we spend trying to patch something up that wasn't meant to be. Here within the Lovers, I do see this little love triangle situation, group number 3. So there is something going on here romantically that is very interesting. So there's someone that you already know. So it's like a type of person, you're already aware of what they're like, they're more stable. It's like a relationship that is already predictable. But then there's also someone new, exciting, who makes you feel more passion, someone who's charming, someone who is a little bit more mysterious. And remember, we had the little peace sign charm. Choose what brings you peace, especially if you are a parent or you have a lot of responsibility. Because when you're busy and you have a lot of responsibility, group number 3, you don't have time for games and love and for distractions either. So I want to add into your reading with our astro dice. Okay, so we've got the number 10 here that fell onto the field of possibility and Sunday. So here we go with the number 10. When we bring the number 10 down to a single digit, we have got the number 1, and the number 1 in Sunday and possibility or possibly just shows us here that Sunday is your reset day to start the week on a completely fresh note and for endless possibility to really be yours. Then we also have here the sun that fell onto Wednesday, Wednesday being your day of confidence, Wednesday being your day of vitality, of willpower, as the sun represents just that, vitality, willpower, feeling like you are able to do anything, feeling purposeful, feeling in tune with your identity. That's what we've got here so far. And then let's see what we have. Okay, we've got Leo as well. And by the way, Leo is ruled by the sun. Leo being ruled by the sun and the sun showing up too, this is just a confirmation for all of my gorgeous Leo babies, or those of you who can benefit from Leo energy of being more confident, loud, proud, bigger than life, so to say. Now is your time to do that. Now is your time to not back down. Now is your time to show what you're made of and to run laps around people who didn't believe that you would come this far, who didn't believe that you would be this successful, group number 3. Now is the time to leave them in the dust and the time to also show yourself what you're made of. You've got this, group number 3. And if you ever need a pick-me-up, know I'm always here. I'm always rooting for you. I'm your big sis that will always believe in the fact that you've got so much ahead of you that is way greater than you ever even imagined, and that you're far more capable than you've given yourself credit for up until this point, group number 3. So I'm going to clear and cleanse the space again. We will continue on within your reading. As per usual, lean back, relax, enjoy, and I'll be right back. Welcome back, group number 3. Let's carry on within your reading, shall we? I'm so excited to figure out what else that you need to hear and know and receive. So next up, we have got some good old lemon and cleansing energy, because that's precisely what lemon stands for. It's all about cleansing. It's all about getting rid of the old and unwanted. Furthermore, the lemon also correlates to Gemini energy. Up here, we have the symbol of Gemini, and I just want you to know here that when it comes to Gemini energy, this is talkative energy. This is the type of energy of someone who is willing to share their innermost thoughts in order to also cleanse, in order to overcome, to heal, to move forward. So know here that sometimes in order to cleanse, you have to put it out there. You have to acknowledge that it exists. Next up, we've got the carrot, and the carrot brings a message of clarity. The carrot also connects to the symbol of Virgo, and the carrot corresponds to number 1. So first and foremost, we've got to gain some clarity on what needs to be cleansed, what can be cleansed, and then we can move forward with our process of cleaning up anything that isn't quite in line with us on an internal level. So here within illusion, I also want you to know that what comes next is the truth being embraced. If you have a funny feeling about someone and what they've been telling you, like you feel like they've been lying to you about something, I see cleansing there. I see that the truth is going to be embraced and the truth is going to come forth to light. And it's going to be, in one sense, unexpected, but also in another way, you knew all along. And I do see here within children that group number 3, you are the type of person who is fairly responsible. And children are an important part of your future, either being a parent or a teacher of some sort. a guidance, a guardian angel almost for kids. And I want you to know here within children and inspiring them and giving them clarity too, you are the type of person who, of course, wants to protect them, but you're not going to do so by just sheltering children. You're going to do so by also teaching them some real life skills and things that they need to look out for, things that they have to pay attention to in order to avoid getting themselves in challenging situations or even being used by others in a way that we don't want that to happen, of course. So you're the type of person who celebrates kids' strengths, and overall, you teach them in a fun and loving way how to be strong, how to stand up for themselves, how to say no, and how to properly assess situations for what they are. In celebration, I see furthermore that you're the type of person who throws the best parties. So even though you may not do it super often, you are the best host just because you're really thoughtful. And with celebration, I do also see here that there are a lot of things coming towards you that will need a little party, celebration, and get together. This is really positive because in order for there to be things to celebrate, there has to be some sort of success, right? There has to be some sort of reason. I mean, of course, we can celebrate with no particular reason, just for the fun of it. But I do see here that there will be multiple reasons as to why it is time for you to celebrate. And here within the Hermit, or as we have here within German, Eremit, you're going to be celebrating some clarity on your birthday especially. So your next birthday is going to be the most fun, the most carefree birthday that you've ever celebrated because you've just come to this feeling of contentment and comfort within yourself and your body that you didn't have before. So in the past, you may have been skinnier, you may have been in better shape, your skin may have been clearer, you may have looked closer to the ideal body that you wanted. That could also be curvier, that could also be just overall like a different shape than you are now. Whatever you are now, it could be the opposite or it could just be off. And I do see here that even though you were closer to your ideal at a different point in time, you feel way more comfortable in your skin now than ever before. Even though you had your kind of closest to that magazine cover that you aspire to be, I see here within the Six of Cups, Sechster Kelche, that you are actually feeling so much more connected to yourself, to those closest to you, to who you are on the inside, that you don't need that type of validation. You are more interested in whether your body properly functions. You are more interested in ensuring that your relationships are in good shape, that you feel good about yourself. You're not just interested in how your body looks on an external level. You are more into the depth, more into what's going on inside. And here within the Page of Coins, I do also want you to know that having invested in your health and in your body, that will pay itself off tenfold. So all of the times that you got that organic food, that you took that extra supplement that you didn't need to, but you knew it was good for your gut, every time you had those fermented foods or that fermented drink, know here that investing in your body in that sense is going to make sure that you have longevity, which means good health even in older age. And here within temperance, every time you tempered yourself, your body is going to thank you for that too. Tempering yourself with alcoholic beverages, so not drinking too many of those, not drinking those to the point that you are intoxicated. Other substances as well. Smoking is another thing that we have here within temperance. Eating red meats or a lot of dairy, for example, that is all pretty difficult for the body to digest if we compare that to carrots or, for example, fruit. And I just want you to know here that having balance, having temperance, having self-control, every time you chose your health and your well-being over just an impulse or over that kind of chemical connection that your body has towards these unhealthy things, you actually gave yourself a little bit of a increased life expectancy and life quality in that life expectancy. So it may sometimes feel like, well, is this even going to make a difference? But trust me, group number 3, it compounds. This is definitely something that adds up over time and over the years. Think of all the times you got those extra steps, you moved your body just a little bit more. If you would have never done that, your body would be a lot less flexible and mobile than it is today. So it all does add up. And here within conjunction, I see that connecting with others, forming in a way like an alliance, being around like-minded people, that's moving forward going to be your jam. So going to some sort of class where there are other people, having a close friend with whom you can move, with whom you can have healthy habits with, you can go and drink really healthy like green juices and teas with, having someone with whom you can practice temperance. I see that that brings you out of hermit mode and out of being like at home a lot. Because one thing about you is that you would rather stay at home than be around people who make you feel uncomfortable or where you feel like it will be hard to stay healthy. But having a friend and someone close to you with whom you share these same interests and with whom you can do the same thing, well, now that is going to allow you to properly come out, enjoy life, and accept invitations. That's what the Descendant is all about. Invitations coming your way. Don't be surprised if shortly after receiving this reading, you receive an invitation to go out, to go do something different, to be in a place where people are maybe consuming like alcoholic beverages, but you know that with the company that you're invited to go there, you're going to be completely safe and fine, not going wild, not doing anything crazy, and also eating and drinking healthy amounts. Nothing that's going to make you feel sick or unwell the next day. Because one thing about you is that you're really over the whole FOMO thing. You don't care about FOMO, aka fear of missing out. You are way too grown for that. You are not a kid anymore. You don't care about whether people think you're missing out, whether people think you're cool or not. What's most important to you is that you think you're cool and is that you're feeling good and you're feeling healthy. And I really love that about you, group number 3, because it just shows such an increase in maturity in your life. And here within the finger, I want you to know that now this portion that we're moving into within your reading is where your guides are going to make you aware of something that is coming your way that might be a challenge, that might be something that you have to look out for, that you just overall didn't expect to come your way at this point in time. And here within the wishbone, okay, so this huge challenge, group number 3, is going to be a wish that is granted. Wow, very challenging. I know, it seems funny because how can a wish being granted be challenging? But sometimes there can be issues with wishes when we don't know how to receive them or just be happy for them. So think about it this way. If you've always wished to receive the perfect lover into your life and all of a sudden they come into your space, you may think to yourself, oh my God, how do I keep them around? You may start to stress. You may think, do they really love me? Do they really care about me? This seems too perfect to be true. And then you might start to slowly actually repel what you really wanted. So group 3, it's really important that when your wishes come true and when they come your way, that you wholeheartedly accept them and that you accept that you deserve them. There's a dream vehicle that you wanted and you finally get it and all you're doing is stressing about what future maintenance bills may look like and you're living in lack, well, guess what you're going to attract? A lot of bills from your mechanic's place. So the thing that you're going to want to do here, group number 3, is to allow these wishes to be granted, and rather than looking for the issues or looking for where you feel like you're not deserving and where you feel a little bit of insecurity, simply enjoy that these wishes were granted. Simply put yourself in the energetic vibration of deservingness because, surprise, group number 3, you are deserving, and it is important that you believe it too. Because if you don't believe it, then it's going to be hard for anyone else to believe it and for you to stay on that frequency, on that energy level of receiving more, because then all of a sudden you will start to lose these things that you wanted. You will start to lose the wishes because they just don't feel comfortable around you because you're repelling them. So it is important for you, group number 3, to remain like an open portal, an open space for your wishes to feel attracted into and almost lured into by staying on their wavelength and in that same energy. And here within the Six of Cups, I also just see like a really close friend pointing that out to you too, to actually enjoy the things that are going well in your life rather than looking for the things that are a little bit disastrous or that are not precisely how you want. Because by focusing on all that there is to celebrate within your life, and also reminding yourself with that friend of how things were in your childhood, how things were growing up, also other struggles that you've had, you will come to realize that actually right now you're living a reality that in many ways you had dreamed and wished for just a couple of years ago. And that will again also illuminate the positives and allow for the negatives to, in a sense, disintegrate a little bit more. So group number 3, I will clear and cleanse the space, and then I'll be right back with you. So just hold on tight and we'll delve even more deeply into your psychic tarot card reading. Welcome back, group number 3. So let's delve into your reading even more deeply so we can figure out a couple more details of why this is the only tarot reading that you will ever need. So we've got the Knave of Swords as well as the Ace of Wands. In the Knave of Swords, we have an air sign, so Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini, that is coming towards you. And what they're going to do is they're going to give you a complete new sense of adventure, and they're going to excite you a lot. So this is a type of person that makes you think again whether you need to reconsider your relationship status, whether you want to maybe just risk it and see what happens with this individual. They have this a little bit like dark aesthetic to them, a little bit of a dark, a little naughty vibe, and they are very much into you. So this is a very flirtatious person that's coming towards you. And I see here in the Three of Wands, they will enter your life shortly after you've watched this reading. And the Three of Wands shows that it's going to be like a whirlwind. So pretty close thereafter, within 2-3 weeks of you receiving this reading, you will have this person come into your life, and it will be, romantically speaking, very exciting. And even if you are in a committed relationship, it's just going to be nice to have this person kind of show you that they're attracted to you and show interest in you. Next, in the Nine of Cups, this is a card of manifestations coming true. This is also known as the Wish card in tarot. This is a really positive card, and this is a card of actually coming to a point of a lot of your manifestations becoming true. If you guys are in my tarot reader course, which by the way, I'm going to be upgrading shortly after publishing this video. It's going on a completely new site in a completely new format, but all of my existing students, you will have access to the new improved platform because I always promise lifetime access. And when I promise lifetime access, you get lifetime access. So even though everything's going to be upgraded and the price is going to be upped as well of the course, all of my existing students, you will be able to stay in the course and still enjoy the new features of the fresh platform and any new videos that I add to the course as well. So as I was saying here in the Nine of Cups, this is a card of supreme emotional confidence and feelings of contentment. So the Nine of Cups shows us that really you're feeling energized, you're feeling good. We've also got the Sun, because you're seeing that a lot of your hard work is finally actually bearing fruit. So the Sun is symbolic of life force, obviously vitality, purpose, also having a strong sense of willpower and creating from a place of manifestation. And here within the first house, we have a house of the self, of your persona, of your identity. This is the house of basically like arriving. It also corresponds to the zodiac sign of Aries. And the first house, if your first house is in Aries or in a different fire sign, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, I want you to know that things will be extra amplified for you when it comes to confidence and when it comes to manifestation in the next weeks after you receiving this reading. You will find that everything you touch seems to turn to gold. It's like you have the Midas touch, and it's going to feel as though everything that you attempt is turning out better than expected, better than you thought. But the thing is, you have also put in a lot of efforts in the past. So to others, it's not really surprising, but of course you are kind of like a humble person. So you are excited that things are going better than expected. The Fool, also known as der Narr in German, since this is a deck that is authored in German, für alle meine deutschsprachigen Subscribers und Unicorns, ich liebe euch, danke, dass ihr hier seid. So in The Fool, you're taking a risk, and you're risking it because you know that the reward may be tenfold of the risk that you're taking or that you're kind of exposing yourself to. So here within The Fool, you're really unafraid about the next steps, especially professionally speaking. And I see that because in your private life, people are so drawn towards you, it also gives you a lot of confidence professionally speaking. And you're like, you know what? F it. Let me just try. Let me just do this. And here within the King of Wands, this is the type of like masculine energy you're stepping into for your work. This is energy that is motivated, that is wise, that has a certain level of quality that they also want to bring. And you're the type of person who always does things well. If not, you would rather just not do them at all. So I do see here that a message for you is to risk it. Yeah, do it. Try it. Bet on the things you're motivated to do. Bet on yourself. Bet on your dreams professionally. I see here that you've already learned quite a bit in the last couple of years through working, internships, trying your own business ventures, and using all of this knowledge is actually something that a lot of people don't have. This is something that not everybody is fortunate enough to bring with them into a new career situation. A lot of people don't have the type of experience and confidence and also bravado that you do. So don't underestimate your abilities, because I see that you tend to underestimate yourself rather than put yourself in rooms that you actually already belong in. But remind yourself, group 3, we only have one life. You don't have time to constantly take the slow lane and constantly wait around to be really invited into these spaces and these rooms. Sometimes you just need to place yourself into them, especially if you know that you belong there. Just go there, group number 3. Stop trying to play small. You are meant to play big. The first house also shows us here that you have a really big worldview, so to say, as we have the world here nestled in between the antlers and the foliage. And I just want you to know that this shows that you're someone who is well-traveled. You're someone who has a very broad view on the world. You're not a small-minded type of person. And you will do more traveling, more interconnected business across the globe. You will connect with more people from different cultures. And this is a thing that not many people can master in a lifetime, because a lot of people, they can't see past their hometown. They can't see past the country they live in, where they grew up, how they grew up. But you are pretty flexible. And the thing is, you want to live life seeing so many different types of ways of living, different traditions, different viewpoints, different ways of dealing with people. So for you, the journey, the learning, the unknown, all of that is way more exciting than to just be in your familiar space that you already know anyways. That doesn't excite you. That is not something that you feel is really cool or that you want more of. So it only makes sense as to why you want to explore more and go more places, and also connect in business and create a business where you're traveling and you're actually spending a lot of time with different people across the globe. Now, the brown bear spirit shows us here that you are being urged to take time out. Group 3, how do you feel? Do you feel tired? Do you feel close to burnout? Do you sometimes feel as though it's all too much? We have the 9 of Cups. We've got the number 9 in the brown bear spirit and 39 in the first house. So 3 times 9 and then 18 is actually just 9 multiplied by 2. So 9 is an important number. Are you a life path number 9, or is 9 a number that you find important? The 9th house is, by the way, the house of Sagittarius, which is also the house of long distance travel. So this 9 energy, an energy that is all about the big picture thinking, visionary energy. Big 9 energy, big visionary energy also calls for big spurts of rest. It also calls for big naps, okay? Big bedtimes, and being able to sleep and really recuperate and actually take time away from work too. And I see here within the wolf spirit that sometimes it can feel like you're not being productive, but learn from it. When in the history of being overproductive and just working your tail off, has that ever been the wisest decision? Because I do see here within the wolf spirit that actually what works best for you is to really process the things that you're going through and then to act on them, not to just be acting, because then you're just in the hamster wheel and you're not actually making the type of progress that you could be making if you take some steps back to really ponder on what it is that you want and what direction that you want to take your life into. So thinking and being in reflection mode can be invaluable, especially if you're trying to not spend your entire life doing the same thing, feeling exhausted, feeling like you're overworked all the time. And I don't love this saying at the moment, but it is fitting when it comes to working smarter, not harder. So it's about being more effective rather than just doing a lot more. So group number 3, I just noticed that this reading has been crazy long. So at this point, I am going to close off the reading right here. I will do an extended version. I will now continue the reading for all of my patrons. The link to that is below in the description box. So there are dozens of patron-only videos on my Patreon and videos with their extensions, for the exact reason that I don't want to be overkill here on YouTube. But I know a lot of you are diehard Unicorn Army fans, part of the Unicorn Army, Unicorn family. You guys want to see readings that are full length all the way to the end, all of the censored content too, so you can find that on Patreon, including the extension of this video that I'll get into now. But for all of my beautiful YouTube unicorns, thank you so much for being here, for spending this divine time and space with me, and I hope that you found this reading insightful and that the messages resonated with you. Feel free to let me know below in the comment section. I love to hear from you. I love your feedback and just to overall connect with you. So know that that space is always open for you to share. And I would like to thank you for spending this divine time and space with me. And I can't wait to catch you during one of my upcoming readings.